airport, get yourself into Illinois. The only other delays we have, just some slow traffic, but it's slow from Queenie to Monsanto right now, northbound on Route 3. Next update at 6:10 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Celebrating 100 years of informing and entertaining. KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood, the voice of St. Louis.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by JTV.com.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Reports say Iran has received a 15-point plan from the Trump administration to end the war. It touches on, among other things, sanctions relief, a rollback of Iran's nuclear program, and shipping access through the Strait of Hormuz. The BBC's David Willis.
Donald Trump told reporters Iran was, in his words, desperate for a deal to end the war. He insisted talks were underway and added cryptically that the US had received an expensive gift from Iran, which he said showed that he was dealing with the right people. Tehran insists there are no such talks.
Iran launched more attacks on Israel and other targets in the region today. One sparked a huge fire at the airport in Kuwait. Ray of hope for ending the partial government shutdown that's led to long lines and delays at airports here. Senate Republicans have offered a plan to end it, but it does not address the main sticking point, funding for ICE operations. TSA Supervisory Officer Bertha Waddy.
They're not coming to an agreement. It's like, what is going on? You're kind of messing with people's livelihoods.
We're learning more about the collision between a plane and a fire truck at New York's LaGuardia Airport that killed 2 pilots Sunday night. CBS's Tom Hansen.
NTSB investigators want to know if the 2 people in the fire truck heard the last-second warnings from the control tower to stop before pulling into the path of the plane. NTSB Chair Jennifer Homendy said the air traffic control system needs to be better.
Controllers should have all the information and the tools to do their job. This is 2026.
She says the fire truck didn't have a transponder that would have alerted the control tower to its location. Political first-timer Democrat Emily Gregory's flipped a Florida State House seat in the district that includes Mar-a-Lago, the president's place in Palm Beach.
Emily Gregory narrowly defeated Republican John Maples in Tuesday's special election. President Trump had urged voters to choose Maples. Gregory explained her win.
I think it's a real reaction to the current policies at the national and state level. And I think that is a clear indication from voters it's the wrong track.
Gregory's victory marks the 29th district Democrats have flipped from GOP control since Trump took office. Trump voted by mail in Tuesday's election, a method he has often railed against. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Delivery wars are heating up. CBS's Jesse Mitchell.
FedEx is launching same-day local delivery. The shipping company is partnering with One Rail to allow customers to choose 2-hour or end-of-day delivery for their online purchases. The move comes as Amazon and Walmart have both expanded their same-day delivery services in recent months.
This is CBS News.
Looking for spring jewelry looks? Find them at Jewelry Television. New customers get $20 off purchases of $99 or more at JTV.com.
It is 6:03. We've got mostly clear skies right now downtown, 46. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. No JB Blast this July 4th, and all county government offices will be closed on Fridays to in-person services. The move comes mainly for the Revenue Department to catch up on a backlog of processing senior property tax freeze applications, deeds needed for people to file RECA claims, and tax refunds.
County Executive Dr. Sam Page says the RAMS money is one way to fix the budget problems.
What's the reason that they're giving for not wanting to use RAMS money?
You'll have to ask them. I guess they're saving it for some other unknown purpose. The long-term solution is to pass the use tax, which will help us starting next year. That's on the ballot in August, and use one-time funds like we have for 20 years to keep county government functioning normally.
And how much is it left in the RAMS money?
Over $100 million. The RAMS money, the Special Project Legacy Fund, which I'm not sure what that's going to be for, or the revenue that turned over at the end of the year. Those are 3 easy sources to go and find the revenue that it would take to restore the services for St. Louis County residents. Once that money is appropriated, it's still going to be a couple of months before we can hire people to fill this stuff back in. And we got a lot of other service reductions to talk about in the next couple of months, and we haven't even got to furloughs yet.
And Page says the particulars on where and when the furloughs will happen are still being talked about. Maria Aquino, KMOX News.
The St. Louis County Council voting last night to authorize subpoenas tied to allegations that County Executive Page continued working as an anesthesiologist at SSM Health in violation of a charter change approved by voters in 2022. Ethics Committee Chair Mike Archer spelled out the alleged time frame.
There were allegations that the county executive engaged in the practice of medicine from April 7th, 2022 until actually December 31st of this year in violation of the charter.
Billing records obtained by a county resident allegedly show 7 instances of charges under Page's name during that period, even after Page separated from Western anesthesiologists.
Page insists the work was unpaid volunteering, saying he has spent years volunteering at a hospital for a few hours each week. Volunteering is a rewarding way to be part of the community, he wrote. If the allegations are proven, the council could seek his removal from office.
Yesterday, the Missouri Supreme Court ruled on Republicans redrawing congressional maps mid-decade.
Yes, they can, according to the 4-3 ruling handed down by Missouri's highest court, a victory for Republicans as they seek to hold the House in November. Richard Von Glahn, with People Not Politicians, is suing to block the map from taking effect until their initiative petition allows voters to give their say. He says this ruling makes their case all the more important.
It is possible that Judge Stumpy might have been waiting to see how the Supreme Court was going to rule, because obviously, if we had prevailed in Luther, then he wouldn't have needed to rule on that case.
He compares their petition to the one overturning right to work, which was paused after the referendum received enough signatures and eliminated when voters sided against the state legislature. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
KMOX has reached out to the Secretary of State and Attorney General for comments.
The pre-excavation survey of the Westlake landfill is complete. The move brings the EPA one big step closer to removing the radioactive waste from the Manhattan Project. Local advocate Dawn Chapman with Just Moms STL is thrilled about the development.
It solidifies their promise to us that that's when it would start. That is what Administrator Lee Zeldin told us when he was in town almost a year ago.
The cleanup is set to begin in 2027, but no specific date has been provided.
Charges issued following the shooting that left 2 dead and 3 critically injured. St. Louis police say 26-year-old Lahizo Malin has been charged with first-degree murder following the death of a 21-year-old who was involved in a shooting that took place Saturday outside a downtown smoke shop. 2 of the men were pronounced dead at the scene. The other 3 were labeled critical but stable at local hospitals. Police say Malin was the only person involved in the gunfire who was not shot.
The Lawrence Group has a new president and CEO. From the KMOX business desk, Mike Schnarr has been with the architecture and design firm since 1997. Schnarr specializes in healthcare planning and has helped to bring in more than $40 million in annual revenue for the firm, according to the Business Journal. He says his focus for the future will be continuing to strengthen the Lawrence Group's culture of legendary service.
The company had more than $87 million in revenue in 2024. Current CEO and company co-founder Steve Smith will transition to an executive chairman role.
Back to that backup, 44 and 55 coming into downtown. Roger Brand has the latest in 2 minutes at 6:08.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-566-3062. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-566-3062. That's 800-566-3062. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
No! It's just a golf lesson, champ. Loosen up. I can't. See that Hyundai Santa Fe? Yeah. I only paid. Finish up on your own. I gotta run.
Deal's so right, it almost feels wrong. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Get 0% APR for 60 months, plus 0 payments for 90 days on the Hyundai Tucson, Tucson Hybrid, Santa Fe, or Santa Fe Hybrid. Now, during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Hurry, offer ends March 31st. Call 562-314-4603 for details.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline Nasal Spray.
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
It is 6:10, and it's time for us to get you updated on traffic and weather. The weather is all over the place. Again, I guess we should be used to that. But we started out with a few more troubles on the roadways at an earlier hour. So that is rather unusual. Let's get the very latest from Roger Brand. He's in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Yeah, and there's still no change, Debbie. This crash that happened over an hour ago downtown, eastbound 44 before the Poplar Street Bridge, shut the traffic down, and now they have it being diverted off at Park Avenue. Now, the good thing is that there's not a lot of volume yet, so the jams haven't gotten any worse. If you're on 55 northbound, you're jammed approaching Gravois. Eastbound 44 is still a little east of Jefferson. My suggestion is to get off of those points, especially if you need to get through downtown. But if you do need to get to the Poplar Street Bridge, you can make your way over to 6th Street and Gratiot and get that on-ramp on 64, or easier, I think, for eastbound 44 drivers, if you just get off at Jefferson, go north to 64, and then go to the Poplar Street Bridge that way. Other than that, we do have a bit of a jam now. Train crossing Route 3 at Monsanto, it's jammed almost back to Judith, and southbound's midway back to 8th Street on Route 3 right now. And then other than that, we do have a little bit of a slowdown building from Warrenton into about the Wright City Rest area on eastbound 70 out west as well. Next update at 6:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg with our forecast.
More sun than clouds today and becoming much warmer. High 81. The record is 84 from 1907. Fair skies, warm tonight, though 66. Mostly sunny, breezy, and hot tomorrow. High 94. That would break the record of 87 from 1991. Would also break the all-time March record of 92. A couple of thunderstorms will slice into this heat rather abruptly tomorrow night, and they can produce severe weather, including hail and damaging winds. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Right now, we're looking at 40s. We're in the 40s. We're starting to warm up a little bit. We're up to 47 degrees, mostly clear downtown at the Arch.
It is 6:12, and the mayor of Festus says city officials are listening to residents' concerns about a proposed data center in Jefferson County, but he still feels it's a good plan for the community.
Dozens of people voiced opposition at a public meeting Monday night. Speaking on Total Information AM, Festus Mayor Sam Richards says the developer, CRG, has offered millions of dollars in community payments and would be responsible for infrastructure upgrades.
If there's any road repairs or anything like that need to be done, road improvements, then CRG is on the hook for that also.
Richards says the proposal includes voluntary buyouts for a dozen nearby homes. The city council could vote as early as next Monday to advance the plan. Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
The evolution of the library is a constant topic across the street from the KMOX studios at the St. Louis Public Library. Waller McGuire is CEO and tells the Chris and Amy Show how AI is affecting them.
Libraries are a big source for information that AI is using. We recently discovered that some sort of AI powerhouse was downloading huge quantities of information from the library. It was almost stopping our internet connections, which are vast.
McGuire says librarians are always searching materials to see if they're written by AI. McGuire is stepping down from the library in October after 37 years.
An update on the Spanish Lake woman who had her food pantry stolen. It's been found and returned, but it is damaged. Erica George says once it's fixed, she'll be up and running again. George put the little shed on her property in December and filled it with food and toiletries. That is sound from surveillance video from Friday night, showing a person hooking the shed up to a trailer on the back of an SUV and driving off with it.
Is an unusually warm opening day creating excitement around local bars?
I went out to some bars around Busch Stadium to see. Most didn't want to jinx it. Here's managing partner of Sports and Social, John Stark.
This might be one of the nicest opening days we got in a long
we don't bring up
time.
the weather.
All right, knock on wood. Hope that storm doesn't come in hours earlier. But How does that kind of change things this year with the nice weather that we're expecting? And you are in charge of the outside area as well.
Indeed. We're ready to go. Whatever we need to do, we do. So we can have people roll in here. We are, like I said, we're partnered with Ballpark Village. We're the same company. We're the same friends. We're the same family. So, if they're over there doing the rain dance, it always affects us poorly on the plaza, but they always enjoy the push that they get in there.
Chris, the manager at Patios, did not want to tempt fate either after working since January towards reopening.
Are you expecting more people to come out because of that? Is that going to help you guys at all?
I'm not going to jinx it, so I'm not saying anything about the weather.
Sean Malone, KMOX News.
Opening day festivities at 2:30. We will have it for you on KMOX with the Wagon Gates opening in right field and the Budweiser Clydesdales taking the field. What a special day it's going to be at Busch Stadium. Opening day is always that, and there will be many honored as they go around the track. Let's start with the Hall of Famers who will be entering that Wagon Gate following the Clydesdales. You're going to have Ozzie Smith, the greatest shortstop of them all. He will be part of a quartet of Hall of Famers in Cooperstown. Tony La Russa, Scott Rowland, and Ted Simmons will join the Wizard. And following them will be these Cardinals Hall of Famers: Vince Coleman, Al Raboski, Jason Isringhausen, Ray Lankford, Willie McGee, Mark McGuire, Edgar Renteria, and John Tudor. Throwing out the first pitch, 4 former Cardinals among the 40 alumni who will be in the house for tomorrow's festivities. A 20th anniversary celebration of the 2006 World Champions, David Eckstein, the World Series MVP that year, and catcher Gary Bennett, along with the celebration, the 30th anniversary of the 1996 NL Central champions, Brian Jordan and Tom Pagnazzi, will represent that team. Meanwhile, today in the Brentwood Point Rally House, we will have the Chris and Amy show from 9 to noon and the Gas House Gang from noon to 1 live. Come out and see us and come out and see this gentleman. Matt Adams, Big City, did that in 2014 to the NLDS against the Dodgers. And Matt will be with us on the Gas House Gang today from noon to 1. Looking forward to visiting with Big City. What a home run that was off of Clayton Kershaw in the 2014 NLDS, one of the loudest moments in Busch Stadium 3 history. The Blues played last night. It got loud there as they won 3-0 over the Washington Capitals. A number of Cardinals were in attendance yesterday as they took in the game before they begin their workouts at Busch Stadium today. Joel Hofer with the shutout. He made 22 saves. Jimmy Snuggerud got the scoring started in the second period with his 16th of the year. Otto Stenberg scored his second, and then Jordan Kyrou with an empty netter late in the third period, his 17th of the season. Hubert Davis has been let go by North Carolina, a significant move that could create a domino effect in college basketball circles. It was Hubert, who was a former Tar Heel, a celebrated and a tradition-rich program, but North Carolina has parted ways with Davis, saying it had made a leadership change to end his tenure as successor to retired Hall of Fame coach Roy Williams. The Tar Heels lost to VCU in the first round of the NCAA tournament. It'll be very interesting to see who they end up calling for that job. Syracuse has turned to its past in hiring former star guard Jerry McNamara in a bid to guide that fading men's basketball program back to prominence. 42-year-old McNamara helped lead the Orange to a national championship in 2003. Most recently, he coached at Siena. I'm Tom Ackerman on the voice of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
When it comes to your hearing, you deserve expert care. At the Audiology Center, you're treated by certified audiologists Dr. Colleen Bosler, Dr. Adam Foss, and Dr. Bailey Campbell, meaning 8 years of advanced education, clinical expertise, and a commitment to best practices.
Charlie, we offer hearing aids from all major manufacturers, so you get what's best for you. Every patient receives individualized testing, precise fittings using real ear measurements, and personalized programming to ensure your hearing aids perform exactly as they should. And our care doesn't stop once you leave the office. We're committed to helping your hearing aids last through ongoing adjustments, maintenance, and long-term support at no extra cost. Better hearing is personal, not one size fits all. Call us today at 636-441-7470 or visit us online at theaudiologycenterstl.com. And let's take that first step together.
The legendary Fast Eddie of Fast Eddie's Bon Air and Cardinals Hall of Famer Jason Isringhausen.
Hey, it's that time of year again, man. It's starting to warm up. And you know the sun's getting a little brighter. I can hear the crack of the bat.
Yeah, the true pros are doing just a little bit of stretching here and there, getting rid of those winter kinks, getting ready for those days that really count, Eddie. I'm talking about the ones you'll always remember at Fast Eddie's Bon Air.
Boy, now you got that right. It is all they can do to get ready for the lineup of the delicious eats. Man, it's a half-pound Fat Eddie burger. Man, it's a hot chick on a stick, that big elwood on a stick, and you know the succulent peel and eat shrimp are sitting over there on deck.
You do know I have to stretch out a little bit before I start hitting that dance floor, listening to that live music 7 days a week on that huge outdoor patio.
Well, it's like any other training, man. You gotta warm up to get that party face on. It's really difficult out there to have that much fun on that warm, toasty patio. You know, like Mr. Shannon always said, if you're 21 and in the mood, it's Fast Eddie's Bon Air.
Total Information AM. Debbie Monterrey, Megan Lynch, Tom Ackerman on 104.1 FM KMOX.
All right, it's going on 6:21. Let's get the latest from Roger Brand. He's in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we still have our issue downtown. Obviously, that's the big thing going on right now, Debbie. This traffic reports the service of the Woodlands of Arnold Senior Living, and that would be eastbound 44 before the Poplar Street Bridge a little over an hour ago, 20 minutes ago, really. We had a crash eastbound before the bridge. They had to shut the lanes down, and they're still closed, so they're diverting traffic off at Park Avenue. But if you're coming in on 44, the jam is back at Jefferson. You may as well get off there. And 55, it's almost jammed back to Arsenal. It's midway between Arsenal and Gravois, so the choice is yours where you want to get off at that point. But you don't want to sit in that traffic if you don't have to. Other than that, we're getting busier on northbound 55, south of Butler Hill to 270. The right lanes are slow. Bales up to River to Pear is busy. North 270 from 55 up to 44 looks good. Out west, we've got delays. Eastbound 70, it's actually backing up now at Warrenton, and then it's slow from there into the right city rest areas, even a little bit of a westbound slowdown there. And on the Illinois side, we still have this train crossing Route 3 at Monsanto. Northbound is a solid jam back past Judith. Southbound is backed up near 8th Street. Next update at 6:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
The Woodlands of Arnold campus offers skilled rehab, a beautiful assisted living community, and a secure memory care to keep your loved ones safe. Check us out at rspseniorliving.com. That's rspseniorliving.com.
Today, more sun than clouds, much warmer this afternoon, a high of 81. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy and warm, low 66. Joe Lundberg from the AccuWeather office tells us mostly sunny, breezy, and hot for opening day with a high of 94. A couple of thunderstorms around Thursday night will really cool things off for Friday, a high of only 55. Currently, it's 47 downtown.
The news continues at 6:22. Missouri's highest court gave Republicans a significant victory, though the fight over the state's congressional map isn't over. The Supreme Court of Missouri ruled 4-3 that lawmakers had the authority to redraw congressional districts last year without waiting for a new census. But the group behind the referendum to overturn that map says it already has enough valid signatures to put the question before voters in November.
Separately, the court preserved the state's photo ID requirement for in-person voters. It also struck down parts of a 2022 law that limited voter registration outreach by outside groups.
State budget talks are heating up in the Missouri Capitol. Governor Kehoe says tough cuts are unavoidable as the state works to balance the books. Kehoe tells MissouriNet that when you're trying to cut in the next 2 years, potentially $2 billion, you have to make hard decisions.
You find something that you want to restore, and I'm a big fan of that particular service. Find another place that we can fund it for. And I believe under Representative Deaton and other House Budget Chair members, they've done a very good job of trying to make sure they understand the challenges.
The budget now moves from the House to the Senate. Democratic State Senator Maggie Nuremberg warns that the governor's $54.5 billion budget cuts too deeply into services, while Republicans say tight revenues require fiscal discipline.
Congress is moving toward requiring proof of citizenship to vote. You've likely heard about the SAVE Act. A caller named Jennifer from Mount Vernon, Illinois, asked Congressman Mike Boss during his telephone town hall last night how she'll need to prepare.
What documents are we going to need to be able to show proof of citizenship?
You can use
a U.S. passport, a birth certificate, a naturalization certificate, military identification, other documents, including a reportable live birth, and those type documents, and also your driver's license or state ID. All of those would qualify to get you registered.
Critics have raised concerns about voters whose documents don't match, like a birth certificate and a driver's license with different last names after marriage. Bost dismissed those worries.
This isn't a real big question, and I get a little bothered by the fact that people think that there's going to be people who aren't going to be able to vote. You're going to be able to vote if you're an United States citizen, because you're going to have those IDs.
The SAVE Act was just one of several topics at the town hall. Constituents also raised questions about Iran, tariffs, and the U.S. Postal Service. Bost represents parts of the Metro East.
Illinois being called out for some of the worst civil forfeiture laws in the country, and a new report says property owners rarely get a fair shot in court.
The Institute for Justice says Illinois is failing when it comes to protecting property rights. The organization released its latest policing for profit report today, giving the state a D-, citing laws that let police seize cash, cars, and homes without ever proving a crime. Lisa Knepper, the Institute's senior director for strategic research, says the bigger problem is most owners never see a judge.
Illinois does not report enough data for us to be able to tell whether those people are being convicted of a crime or not.
Researchers say procedural hurdles, tight deadlines, and steep costs push the majority into losing property by default, and the agencies doing the seizing often collect the proceeds. The group says the only real fix is ending civil forfeiture entirely and forcing prosecutors to prove guilt the same way they would in any criminal case.
Talk to legislatures. It is within the power of the state to change these laws.
Glenn Marshall, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Alton city officials consider moving the start time for Sunday liquor sales. The city council committee voted 6-1 Monday to change the start of Sunday liquor sales from 9 a.m. to 8 a.m., according to the Riverbender. And that change comes after a local golf course requested the early start time due to their Sunday tournaments, which start at 8 in the morning.
Alton's Sunday liquor sales start time is later on Sundays than surrounding towns. Collinsville's Sunday start time is 5 a.m. Edwardsville, Granite City, and Maryville liquor sales on Sunday start at 6 a.m. The resolution still needs to be voted on at least 2 more times before it would take effect.
It's 6:27. Time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
A lot of people are getting their air conditioners tuned up and ready to go for the summer, and we're getting a lot of calls of people saying they want a second opinion, to have us come out and requesting us to come out there and take a look at their air conditioners. They've been told that they need a new one, and the repair is quite costly and might be best for them to replace the air conditioner and then repair it. If you're in that situation, please give me a call, because there is truly some opportunities here for you that we could save you lots of money, because I'm sure you're going to be shocked. We have the equipment that still works best for you with your budget. It's pretty much the best. Is what I would put in my home, is what I would recommend. Give me a call. It's Bart Inman. One easy number, the easiest number in Missouri and Illinois. That is 314-293-2600. Or the online thing, and that is bartinman.com. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
Another app for inventory, one for CRM. Oh, don't forget accounting. Wait, which login was that?
Or you could use Odoo, one fully integrated system that does it all without the hassle. Ditch the app overload. Get everything your business needs on one platform. Try Odoo free today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
I wanted a new color printer to add pizzazz to my prints.
Pizzazz can be pricey.
Well, now at Staples, you get up to 30% off select HP printers.
30% off an HP?
Yeah, I saved $120 on an HP Smart Tank 6001 with up to 3 years of ink included.
Why, that could be the last printer you'll ever need.
Could be.
Shop your local Staples today for big savings on HP.
That was easy.
Available in-store, online, or on the app. It's 404 exclusions apply.
What if every time you spent money, you saved money too? With Achieve It Checking from Together Credit Union, you can do just that. Every debit card purchase is rounded up to the nearest dollar, and the spare change goes right into your savings. And here's the best part. Together Credit Union boosts your progress by matching qualifying savings up to $8 a month. It's a free checking account that helps you achieve more automatically. Learn more, or better yet, enroll today at togethercu.org. Together Credit Union. Federally insured by NCUA.
Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. Cantor is local, and we're here doing the work every day. We're right here in St. Louis, and we're ready to fight for you. CantorInjuryLaw.com or call 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
It is 6:30 and still dark, but mostly clear and 46 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. Roger Brand is in the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, unfortunately, still no change, Tom and Debbie, downtown with eastbound 44. It's still shut down at the Poplar Street Bridge because of a crash that occurred right around 5 this morning, so it's been 90 minutes. They're diverting traffic off at Park Avenue. The jam really hasn't gotten a whole lot worse. 44 is just east of Jefferson, 55 just north of Arsenal. I'd suggest bailing out at those locations, or maybe 3200 Broadway if you're north on 55. Take Broadway up to Gratiot to 6th Street, get back on the highway. 44 drivers go Jefferson up to 64 if you need to access the Poplar Street Bridge. 55 is busy in other spots. It's a little slow in a couple of spots north of Butler Hill to 270 in the right lanes, and all lanes Bayless to River to Pear. North 270, Sappington to Gravois slow. Doherty Ferry most of the way to Manchester, and approaching Clayton Road up to 64. That's all busy. Southbound 61, almost midway between P and Winslow Parkway down to 64 is slow. 70, a couple of heavy spots from Warrenton into the Wright City Rest area. And on the Illinois side, westbound 64, a little slow at 159, and at the Poplar, that train looks like it cleared Route 3 at Monsanto, but there's still delays from about Queenie headed that way. Next update at 6:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Okay, here's how the weather shakes out. Today, 81 degrees with more sun than clouds. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, 94 degrees. That would break all kinds of records. And then, of course, it's opening day tomorrow. So if you're going to the game, be prepared for heat, stay hydrated, you know, all of that. But tomorrow night, storms roll through, some strong storms, which are going to push all the hot temperatures out. So Friday, we'll be back in the 50s. It's 46 degrees now.
It's 6:32. A Bridgeton pediatrician sentenced to 20 years in prison told a federal judge he is embarrassed and ashamed that his mother would be turning over in her grave. 70-year-old Craig Spiegel was convicted on multiple charges of prescribing tens of thousands of pills to at least 24 women in exchange for sex, explicit photos, or cash.
Prosecutors say he coerced women who are struggling with addiction. Some of those women were once his patients as children. Over the course of a decade, he wrote more than 1,200 illegal prescriptions and also defrauded Medicare and Medicaid.
Charges have been issued following a recent shooting that left 2 dead and 3 critically injured. St. Louis police say 26-year-old Lynch Malin has been charged with first-degree murder following the death of a 21-year-old who was involved in the shooting. The shooting took place outside a smoke shop in downtown St. Louis Saturday. 2 of the men were pronounced dead on the scene. 3 other men were labeled critical but stable by local hospitals. Police say Malin was the only person involved in the gunfire who was not shot.
As the council scrambled to get the budget done by the December 31st deadline, they cut an additional 12 positions from the Department of Revenue.
The divide between the St. Louis County Executive and the County Council has never been wider. Sam Page says he is canceling the J.B. Blast July 4th celebration. The council says that's unnecessary.
The $46,000 expense associated with that last year, the revenue was $44,000 associated with it. If we needed to find an additional $2,000 for sponsorships, I suspect we could probably do that.
St. Louis County Councilman Dennis Hancock, who is running for county executive, tells KMOX with the 250th birthday of the U.S., Dr. Page should be looking for other ways to fund it. Why so many cuts to the revenue department?
There weren't any cuts to the revenue department. That's just it. They had some temps in last year at the beginning of RECA and for the senior tax freeze. Well, those temps were let go at the end of the year. So all of the full-time positions were funded.
Page has ordered the South, North, and Clayton government offices to close on Fridays for the revenue department to catch up on backlogs. Maria Aquino, KMOX News.
The news sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. Your Money Minute is next. Traffic is 6 minutes away. We're still looking at that shutdown on 55 and 44 coming into downtown. We are 10 minutes away, just about, from sports on KMOX.
Hear me out on this. Let's say, for the sake of argument, you do have a wife or a significant other. Yeah. There's just a huge problem in your life. And then you win a giant jackpot. Mm-hmm. Don't you feel like this is your opportunity to just leave town?
You're not going to file papers because now you're going to be legally bound to this lady.
That's what you get the lawyer for.
You're not even married and you're fantasizing about leaving your wife.
The Chris and Amy Show, weekdays starting at 9 on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
You can feel the Clydesdales circling the field. Hear the stands come alive. Smell the hot dogs, the popcorn, and cold beer in the air. See the crowd rise as the first pitch hits the glove. And just like that, a new season begins. The countdown is on until opening day, and tickets start at just $49. Don't miss St. Louis's favorite holiday. Get your tickets at cardinals.com/opening day.
Hot matchup, colder drinks, only at Busch Stadium when the Cardinals host the Tampa Bay Rays on Sunday, March 29th. Fans will take home a stainless steel Cardinals tumbler presented by Coca-Cola and Quick Trip, designed to lock in the cold and show off your Cardinals pride. It's the perfect companion for 9 innings and beyond. A practical addition to any Cardinals collection that'll keep you cool all game long. Tickets are available at cardinals.com/promotions.
This is Nolan Gorman. Get your tickets now at cardinals.com.
It is 6:36, and again, this is Total Information AM. It's time for your Money Minute from Bloomberg. It's sponsored for you by Eamon, Gantner, and Capriano, elder law attorneys.
This is the Bloomberg Money Minute. Stocks are seeing a bounce this morning. The Trump administration is stepping up their efforts to bring the war with Iran to a close. There are reports that the U.S. has drafted a plan to halt the fighting. S&P futures are up 54 points. Dow futures rising 385. But keep in mind, the S&P 500 is still on track for its biggest monthly loss in a year. Meantime, United Airlines is warning that ticket prices may have to go up by 20% if jet fuel prices remain elevated. The carrier expects some consumer pushback and fewer people to travel if ticket prices continue to rise. United has already reduced 5% of its capacity on routes that are not profitable. However, the airline adds that demand for flights is still very strong. And Amazon is stepping into the humanoid robot market. The tech giant has acquired Fauna Robotics, which is developing a human-like robot with arms and legs that can interact with people, walk, grip items, and dance. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
Hey guys, Kevin Wheeler here. I want to tell you about Burn Balance Complex. It's Burn Balance Edge for men, Burn Balance Zen for women, available at supplement superstores. This is the top of the line, a complete metabolism system, an all natural weight loss option, by the way, for people who don't want to get into prescriptions. If you don't like needles, this is for you. And it gets your metabolism working at peak levels, helps you with appetite control and cravings, all day focused energy. So get out to supplement superstores, tell them Kevin Wheeler sent you, and they will knock 30% off the Burn Balance Complex. To find your location, go to supplementsuperstores.com.
Miss Blues Mystery Hat Giveaway Night. Join us April 7th as the Blues battle the Avalanche and take home an exclusive mystery hat to add to your collection. The first 10,000 fans will receive one of 3 hat styles, courtesy of Ticketmaster. The hats represent 3 eras of Blues hockey, and each features a stitched wordmark and logo from that era. Mystery hats are only available during this game, so get your tickets now at stlouisblues.com.
Attention all dog owners. If you have ever listened to the radio or TV for any length of time, you've probably heard of America's #1 dog supplement, Rough Greens. Greetings, naturopathic Dr. Dennis Black, Amazon best-selling author and founder of Rough Greens here. And if your dog suffers from bad breath, itchy skin, licking paws, joint pain, or low energy, the truth is their food is probably to blame. You see, all commercial dog food is dead food. That's why I created Rough Greens. One daily scoop gives your pup the live vitamins, omega oils, probiotics, and enzymes that will bring their food back to life. Don't believe me? Let your dog try it before you buy it. I'll send you a free Jumpstart trial bag, risk-free. You just cover the shipping. Go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFFgreens.com. Use discount code NEWS. Don't wait. Give your dog the gift of vibrant health. Order now. It'll be at your house in a few days. Go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFFgreens.com. Discount code NEWS for your free Jumpstart trial bag today. Rough Green. We make any dog food better.
For the last 33 years, you've discovered that at Banner Construction, we pride ourselves on quality craftsmanship. We believe the single most important decision homeowners must make when considering an exterior restoration project is, who do you hire? At Banner, we provide well-engineered, meaningful, long-term solutions to transform your home into the pride of the neighborhood. Let us help you fall in love with your home all over again. Call 314-569-1050 or visit bannerconstruction.com and have a banner day.
Don't let tax refund worries hold you back. File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction to help you get every refund dollar you deserve or your money back. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
Debuting Tuesday, March 31st, it's All Access with Cardinals manager Ollie Marmol. Get inside your Redbirds in the 2026 season every Tuesday at noon on your voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
It's 6:40 and time to get a check of the roadways and the weather. Roger Brand starts us off. He's in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, there's still no change downtown to Debbie, unfortunately. This traffic reports a service of financial and tax strategies. Eastbound 44 still shut down at the Poplar Street Bridge. It was a crash reportedly involving a motorcyclist, and the accident reconstruction crews are on the scene. Obviously, a pretty serious wreck. So they're diverting traffic off at Park Avenue. 44 is jammed at Jefferson, 55 at Arsenal. Get off there or sooner to avoid sitting in that traffic. North 55, a little busy around Butler Hill, a little busy north of Bale. It's not that bad there. A little bit of a backup northbound 270, north of 55 through Tesson Ferry, a little slow at Gravois. From Big Bend most of the way up to 64, it's kind of heavy. If you're on the run out west, eastbound 70, Warrenton into the Wright City Rest area, you've got delays. On the Illinois side, 64, a little slow at 159, and then slow from 3rd Street, headed for the Poplar Street Bridge. Next update at 6:50 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
If your retirement plan is mostly what if and a little fingers crossed, you deserve better answers than that. Check out Wealth and Wisdom Saturdays at 7 a.m. here on KMOX. I'm Gary Goldberg. Call 800-966-1690.
Well, I think it's awesome that we're going to have summer-like weather. People are going to be dressed like it's July at Busch Stadium for opening day. It's going to be a little toasty out there, though, Joe Lundberg.
Yes, it is. Temperatures are going to make a run at the record. In fact, the record for tomorrow is 87. I think that's going to disappear easily by game time. And we're going for 94. We get there, that would wipe out the old March record of 92 that was set in 1929 at 92 degrees on the 24th of March that year. Today, more southern clouds. It gets warmer, the high 81. A fine day in its own right. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy, 66. Fair amount of sunshine tomorrow. Breezy, hot afternoon, the high 94. Watch out for thunderstorms, though, after dark, probably later tomorrow night, and they could be nasty winds with hail and damaging winds on the table. Friday, a leftover shower early, especially south of the city. Then it dries out. Clouds give way to some sun, but it'll be a lot colder by almost 40 degrees from the high tomorrow to the high on Friday at 55. Sunshine for Saturday, the high 59. Partly sunny Sunday, the high 70. 45 at St. Peter's, 46 in Florissant, partly cloudy, and 51 downtown at the Arch. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It is now 6:42. Israel strikes a nuclear facility in Iran as both sides continue exchanging fire. BBC reporter James Waterhouse has more from Jerusalem.
Explosions could be heard in Tehran, and plumes of smoke were rising over buildings as Israel confirmed it had carried out more airstrikes. It's as the United Nations nuclear watchdog, the IAEA, says it's been informed by the Iranians that another missile has hit the site of the Bushehr nuclear power plant, but that no buildings were damaged. Iran is still returning fire. It claims to have launched missiles at Israel, Jordan, Bahrain, and towards Kuwait, where officials say drones hit an oil tank, causing a fire at its international airport.
The U.S. offered up a 15-point ceasefire plan to stop the war, but Israeli officials are advocating for President Trump to keep fighting.
Senate Republicans offer a deal to fund the Department of Homeland Security in the hope of ending a partial government shutdown. The lapse in funding snarled airport security lines as TSA officers continue to call out sick. CBS News Homeland Security correspondent Nicole Skanga reports from Houston's George Bush Intercontinental Airport.
Seemingly endless security lines snaking 3 stories underground, across terminals, even outside, caused by a severe staffing shortage. 36% of TSA officers here have called out of work amid the partial government shutdown that's frozen their paychecks.
DHS says more than 450 TSA officers have quit since the shutdown began more than a month ago.
A Venezuelan man deported from the U.S. to that notorious prison in El Salvador is suing the federal government, claiming he was wrongfully detained and abused. In an exclusive interview, he describes harsh conditions and denies allegations he was ever a gang member. CBS News immigration correspondent Camila Montoya Galvez.
The situation became so difficult that you contemplated ending your life?
Sí, es correcto.
The Trump administration ended up deporting more than 200 Venezuelan migrants to El Salvador last year. It deported some of them with little to no due process under the 1798 wartime law known as the Alien Enemies Act, accusing them of being gang members and violent, dangerous criminals. But a 60 Minutes and CBS News investigation found many did not have any criminal record.
Fortune has released its latest list of America's most innovative companies.
Making the 2026 most innovative companies list are the same tech companies in the same order as last year: Alphabet, Microsoft, and Apple. Fortune says healthcare company Abbott Laboratories came in fourth, and then it's back to a tech company with KLA in fifth place, breaking into the top 10 in its first appearance on the list. Among what is considered in compiling the list is product innovation, process innovation, and innovation culture. Jennifer Kuiper, CBS News.
Hey, let's let Mike Shannon take us through some of the Hall of Famers. We love Mr. Shannon. We miss him dearly. And let's hear about the Red Jackets who will be there tomorrow.
Here's a swing and a line drive. Diving catch by Ozzie. What more do these folks get to see? What a play by Ozzie. Another phase of the highlight. You couldn't believe that. Listen to them. They're on their feet. 45,000 and you. Well, I'll just let you listen.
Ozzie Smith will be in attendance on the parade around the track on opening day tomorrow, along with fellow Hall of Famer Ted Simmons.
Luter got away with a high pitch that time. Throws inside. Oh, there's strike two called, and I want to tell you something. Simmons has gone back and really laying it on the plate umpire. And folks, I don't say it very often about umpiring, but I don't blame Simmons for griping about that one. Mikey had to spin off the plate, and I bet that pitch was 8 inches inside. Took quick strikes on Simmons. Boyer came out and talked to the umpire. Now the umpire looking into the dugout. Boy, that hurts when you get your leadoff man and your number 4 hitter crippled like that with a strike call. I tell you, the first one was a borderline pitch, too. And now the pitch. Swinging a high fly ball to deep right field. Down the line, in the corner, and goodbye.
There you go, Ted Simmons. Umpire, pitchers, take them all on, my man. Let's see what happens when he crosses the plate. That's maybe what the Cardinals needed, somebody to get on him. There, he says something, and he's going to throw him out, and I want to tell you, you talk about holding a grudge. I don't say much either, Jack, but that's ridiculous.
That is Mike Shannon with Jack Buck in 1978. There are so many in our audience who would claim Ted Simmons is their all-time favorite player. He will be wearing the red jacket at home plate tomorrow. And
here's Rowan. He could give the Cardinals the lead. The pitch to him. Swing and get up, baby. Get up, get up, get up, get up. Home run. Rowan has just given the Cardinals a 4-2 lead. He smoked it off of the McBride and Home Builders sign down the left field corner. Listen to Cardinal Nation.
Game 7 of the 2004 NLCS, Scott Rowland, Roger Clemens rocking Busch Stadium 2. Rowland, Simmons, Ozzie, and Tony La Russa will be representing the Hall of Famers in Cooperstown, and the former world champions David Eckstein and Gary Bennett from La Russa's 06 team, and from his 96 NL Central champions, Brian Jordan and Tom Pagnozzi, will throw out the first pitch. And Cardinals Hall of Famers Vince Coleman, Al Roboski, Jason Isringhausen, Ray Lankford, Willie McGee, Mark McGuire, Edgar Renteria, and John Tudor will all be there tomorrow after the Budweiser Clydesdales at 2:30. Cardinals and Rays at 3:15 on KMOX. Blues won 3-0 over the Capitals last night at Enterprise Center. We'll have a report on that coming up at 7:15 on the home of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Hey guys, Kevin Wheeler here for FanDuel Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of KMOX. Mine, of course, as well. And we're into baseball season. Thank God we've been counting down to this for months. And this baseball season, FanDuel's letting you choose your own reward for opening week. So these are betting customizations that transform how you experience the game. So you make your choice, and the reward will be ready to use on your next MLB bet. I guess you could say FanDuel is the home of home runs this year. And look, we've all been looking forward to baseball season. I know we've been talking it down here on KMOX for months and months and months. It's finally time, and we get to play with FanDuel, which I find to be more fun than playing in football season, just so you know. So if you're ready to play your game, head to FanDuel.com/Missouri to choose your reward for MLB's opening week. FanDuel is an official partner of Major League Baseball. And of course, remember, you have to be 21 or older and present in Missouri. Opt-in is required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expiration, leg requirements, and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. And if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Stop compromising and start saving with Seidenstricker Nobe Partners. Right now, get 0% financing for 84 months or $6,000 cash off a new John Deere 5E tractor, and we'll deliver it to you for free. Real work demands real equipment. All grit, that's the 5E. Visit snpartners.com or one of our Missouri or Illinois John Deere locations. Seidenstricker Nobe, your partner for the land.
Offer valid through 4/30/2026. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
St. Louis's unofficial holiday is almost here. It's Cardinals opening day, Thursday, March 26th. And KMOX's Cakes and Eggs, presented by Budweiser, is back. This year with a new twist. You don't need a ticket to enjoy KMOX's live broadcast at Cardinals Nation inside Ballpark Village, featuring Cardinals alumni, front office personnel, special guests, and so much more. First come, first served. Doors open at 9 a.m. Celebrate opening day with dirt cheap Budweiser and Rally House. More info at KMOX.com/events.
Total Information AM on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
6:51. Let's check in with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, unfortunately, Debbie, there's no change downtown with this crash from earlier this morning around 5 a.m. Eastbound 44 at the Poplar Street Bridge. It's still closed, diverting traffic off at Park Avenue. 55 is jammed back to 3200 Broadway. So, again, I'd bail out there. 44 is jammed at Jefferson. That looks like a good jumping off point to me to get around this closure and building jam downtown. On the Illinois side, westbound 64 is just a little heavy, Route 3 to the Poplar, so that's not bad. Northbound 55, other than that jam downtown, it's busy in the right lanes. Just north of Butler Hill to 270, north 270 from 55 up toward Gravois is kind of busy. And then there are pockets north of 44 to Manchester, and then Clayton Road to Ladue. South 270 approaching Ladue is a little slow. Eastbound 70, Warrenton into the Wright City Rest area is busy. Eastbound 64, Prospect to Lake St. Louis Boulevard is kind of heavy. And westbound 64, west of Big Bend to 170 is starting to slow down a bit as well. Next update at 6:58 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Brought to you by USPS Ground Advantage.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast.
Pump up the volume.
When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
Today, a high of 81 degrees. A nice, warm, summer-like day. More sun than clouds. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy and warm, a low of 66. And then tomorrow for opening day, breezy and hot, a high of 94. A couple of thunderstorms around Thursday night can produce hail and damaging winds, and that will cool things off significantly on Friday. Breezy and dramatically colder with clouds giving way to some sunshine. Friday's high 55 degrees. Currently, it's 47 in downtown St. Louis.
It's 6:53, and a truck crash in south central Missouri has left a lingering stench.
A truck hauling a load of tofu crashed weeks ago in Doolittle, Missouri, in Phelps County. The 500-plus residents there have been complaining about the odor of the spoiled cargo ever since. The truck crashed along Highway 44 east of Rolla March 1st. MoDOT and other agencies are working to address logistical issues and remove the cargo, which some describe as smelling foul, sour, and very unpleasant. Sue Danielson, Missouri Net.
State health officials say Missouri's first 2 cases of Clade 1 Mpox are linked to international travel. Nathan Kofarnas of the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services tells Missouri Net most cases are in Central and Western Africa, as well as parts of Western Europe.
Anybody that's traveling to those locations needs to be aware that it's
circulating locally, particularly in Africa.
There have been 14 cases in the U.S. since 2024, including the 2 Missouri cases. The illness is known for lesions and blisters. It primarily spreads person to person through close contact.
And speaking of spreading, this one may make you itch. Some are calling it super lice.
The term comes after a recent uptick in lice that are resistant to over-the-counter treatment, aka super lice. But Dr. Charlotte Albinson with BJC Medical Group says not all lice are super.
What's recommended is if you've used the over-the-counter remedies for 2 rounds and really followed the directions closely, and your child is still having symptoms of a lice infestation, then it's recommended to seek medical care.
Albinson says lice cases tend to spike after summer camps or at the start of the school year, when kids are in close quarters with each other after time apart. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
Washington University's commencement speaker on May 15th will be Andy Cohen. Chancellor Andrew Martin traveled to New York City to join Cohen from the set of his show, Watch What Happens Live.
Seniors, I will see you on May 15th. I'll bring the emos and the Busch beer.
Sounds good. Clayton native Cohen told the chancellor he thought they'd never ask.
It is now 6:55, and in case you are a scratch-off lottery player, you might want to let your kid pick your next ticket. Last week, a woman let her son pick her scratch-off ticket based on color, and that ended up being a $5 million winner. The lucky mom says moving forward, she'll let her son pick all the scratch-off tickets.
I think it's probably a good idea.
Although I don't think you're going to win $5 million twice.
No, probably not. It's 6:56.
I heard it's somebody's birthday.
Birthday excitement.
It's your birthday.
All right, the birthday shout out is sponsored by Renner Garage Door, RENNER, forward and back, family owned and top rated, RennerDoorSTL.com. You can send anniversary and birthday announcements to us at totalam@KMOX.com. totalam@KMOX.com. Happy birthday wishes going out to Mary Molitor of O'Fallon, Illinois. Also, happy birthday to Jim Lewis, Chris Kleindienst of Left Bank Books, and Carol Wantz.
Best birthday ever.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-566-3062. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-566-3062. That's 800-566-3062.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
I'm Dave Glover, and I see clearly now thanks to the doctors, Dr. Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andy Royer. You can too. Just go to youridoc.com.
For residential and commercial heating repairs, service, maintenance, or installation, contact Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Installation. With over 50 years of HVAC service, get in your comfort zone this winter. Visit aircomfortservice.com. That's aircomfortservice.com.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friend Stewie from Stewart's American Mortgage Corporation. Stewie, I think this is going to be a strange season for real estate. Just kind of feel it in my gut. What can people do apropos of their mortgage to put themselves in a better position to get that house?
You know what, Dave, that's a great question. There's a bidding wars that are going to happen this spring. You want to get the house. This is how you're going to make things better. Number one, we give you the power of the pre-approval letter. That means you can go into our portal and generate the letter and edit it for any amount you want, up to the amount you're approved without chasing the loan officer. Number two, the bagel loan, no closing costs, no title fees, no lender fees, no appraisal fees. It's a bagel. Bagel looks like a zero, easy to remember. Add that money you would normally pay onto your bid and beat the other offers out. And you know what? The third thing is we can close fast. 10 days. They're going to look away at the other offers because most lenders take as much as 30 days to get done.
You can call or text Stewie at his personal cell phone, 314-324-4440, or you can Google the bagel loan in MLS 226715.
Let's get back to Roger Brand. He is in the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Tom, as of right now, there's still no change downtown on eastbound 44 at the Poplar Street Bridge. It's still shut down because of an earlier crash. 44's at Jefferson, 55's back to about 3200 Broadway. I suggest getting off at those locations to avoid the restrictions there. Next update at 7:10 from the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Today is Wednesday, March 25th. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
I'm Maria Kino. Why the St. Louis County Executive says the JB Blast must be canceled, while the council says he's wrong.
This is KMOX Health Editor Fred Bottomer coming to a child's head near you. Super lice. That story is on the way.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. More sun than clouds today and noticeably warmer this afternoon. The high 81.
A high of 94 tomorrow for opening day. We'll let you know who's going to be wearing the red jackets on opening day tomorrow. We'll have that list for you. The Blues with a win last night, and North Carolina has fired its basketball coach. That's in 15 minutes.
The trusted voice of St. Louis. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. We begin in the Middle East, where reports say Iran now has a 15-point U.S. ceasefire plan in its hands. Correspondent Ed O'Keefe has our top story from the White House.
President Trump claimed the regime is so near defeat, it has no choice but to negotiate an end to the war.
What makes you trust them?
Do you think I trust them? I don't trust them.
Well, then why bother talking to them?
Because they're going to make a deal.
But even as indirect negotiations continue, the U.S. is preparing to send about 1,000 members of the Army's 82nd Airborne Division who specialize in parachuting into hostile territory.
Iran claims it's fired cruise missiles at the USS Abraham Lincoln today. A new AP Norc poll finds 59% of Americans believe the war with Iran has gone too far. Senate Republicans are proposing a deal to end the nearly 6-week Department of Homeland Security shutdown and pay TSA officers. Massive sickouts have triggered massive lines at U.S. airports. United Airlines CEO Scott Kirby tells CBS News.
I think it's unconscionable that our politicians haven't gotten this done, and that we have security agents that are not being paid, and they're still showing up, and kudos to them for doing that.
Delta is suspending special services for members of Congress. An update on Sunday night's collision between an Air Canada plane and a fire truck on a runway at New York's LaGuardia Airport that killed 2 pilots. NTSB Chair Jennifer Homendy.
I have seen a number of reports from press about distraction, whether there was distraction among controllers. Look, I would caution pointing fingers at controllers and saying distraction was involved.
She says the fire truck was not equipped with a transponder to alert the control tower to its location. OpenAI is shutting down its video generator, Sora.
With just a few words, you can create hyper-realistic videos of literally anything you can imagine.
When the Sora 2 app launched in September, users made fake videos of themselves, celebrities, their dog driving a car, or the army drafting their grandma.
It's your draft order. Need you to sign here.
Get off my porch, I'm 81.
Critics blasted videos that were racist, violent, or infringed on copyrights. Sora's popularity has since dropped, and OpenAI is pulling the plug as it focuses more on its business and coding offerings. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
A New Mexico jury's ordered Meta to pay $375 million after finding Facebook and Instagram's parent company failed to protect children from predators. Juror Molly Archuleta.
It ultimately swung that way because the majority of the 12 people agreed that there was willful violation.
Jurors in California deliberating a similar case. This is CBS News.
It's one of the most successful law and justice programs in television history that continues to uncover the truth. 48 Hours, Saturday on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
Carpal tunnel syndrome, heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTRC.
It is 7:04. Looks like a nice morning here. We've got clear skies downtown, 45 degrees. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. Police are still looking for the person who shot a 13-year-old boy in St. Louis on Tuesday. St. Louis City Police say the boy was in surgery last night and is in critical but stable condition. That's according to our partners at Fox 2. Officials say the boy was shot after having a conversation with the shooter Tuesday afternoon. After multiple 911 calls were made, witnesses put the boy in their car and started driving him to the hospital. During the drive, they flagged down an ambulance who transported the boy the rest of the way. Police say they do not think the shooting was a random act of violence.
Charges have been issued following a recent shooting that left 2 dead and 3 critically injured. St. Louis police say 26-year-old Lynch has been charged with first-degree murder following the death of a 21-year-old who was involved in a shooting that took place outside a smoke shop on Saturday. 2 of the men pronounced dead at the scene. The other 3 labeled critical but stable at local hospitals. Police say Mullen was the only person involved in the gunfire who was not shot.
A Bridgeton pediatrician sentenced to 20 years in prison told a federal judge he's embarrassed and ashamed and that his mother would be turning over in her grave. 70-year-old Craig Spiegel was convicted on multiple charges of prescribing tens of thousands of pills to at least 24 women in exchange for sex, explicit photos, or cash.
Prosecutors say he coerced women who were struggling with addiction. Some of those women were once his patients as children. Over the course of a decade, he wrote more than 1,200 illegal prescriptions and also defrauded Medicare and Medicaid.
For years, the St. Louis County Executive and Council have been at odds over several issues, the latest the budget deficit. Sam Page says he's canceling the JB Blast because the $50,000 to put on the event is not there.
The majority of the council says that's not true and that if there is that much of a shortfall, sponsors could be obtained to fill the gap. Dr. Sam Page says the Revenue Department has had 12 more cuts, bringing the total to 24 since last year. Councilman Dennis Hancock is also running for county executive.
Those were all temp positions designed to go away at the end of last year. But we're open to listening to things other than him talking to us through a press conference.
Page says there are many ways the council could restore county government back to its normal function.
There's lots of places to go to fund the Department of Revenue so county residents can have normal services that they deserve. You could go to the Rams money. You could go to the Special Project Legacy Fund that I don't even know what's for anymore.
KMOX asked Page why the council does not want to use the Rams money.
You'll have to ask him. I guess they're saving it for some other unknown purpose.
Maria Kina, KMOX News.
St. Louis County Council members following through with a demand for records as they dig into allegations County Executive Page practiced medicine while in office in violation of the county charter. The County Council approved subpoenas yesterday after the Ethics Committee recommended that move a day earlier. Ethics Committee Chair Mike Archer.
We determined that 4 subpoenas need to be issued. First, for the Department of Social Services. That was the basis for Medicare payments, claims and payments.
The remaining 3 subpoenas go to SSM's Slew Care Physicians Group, Western Anesthesiologists, the county resident also who filed the original ethics complaint. Page says his hospital work was voluntary and describes it as a passion for teaching and staying connected to medicine.
It's 7:07 from the KMOX Business Desk. The Lawrence Group has a new president and CEO. Mike Schneer has been with the architecture and design firm since 1997. He specializes in healthcare planning and has helped bring in more than $40 million in annual revenue for the firm, according to the Business Journal. He says his focus for the future will be continuing to strengthen the Lawrence Group's culture of legendary service.
The company that has had more than $87 million in revenue in 2024. Current Lawrence Group CEO and company founder Steve Smith will transition to an executive chairman role.
If you're coming into the city from 44 or 55, you're going to want to have your alert on. This is closure remaining as the highway gets off at Park. That remains closed downtown. Roger Brand will have an update in 2 minutes. It's 7:08.
Many of you know that my inspiration for becoming an accident attorney was my brother Tim, who was rendered a quadriplegic at age 18. I didn't know what a personal injury lawyer was or what they did, but I soon did. Tim was treated terribly by the insurance company, and I became enraged. It was a constant delay and deny. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Tim later worked with me for 27 years. Last year, my hero died at age 65. You can see my eulogy for him by visiting mybrothertim.com. He was one hell of a man. Because of Tim, together we built the largest injury firm in the world, and our clients are treated the way I would want my family to be treated. At Morgan & Morgan, nobody is a nobody and everybody is a somebody. If you need our help, visit forthepeople.com on your phone or computer. See you soon, Tim. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Hi, St. Louis. This is Ben Barnett, board-certified master arborist and owner of Timberline Professional Tree Care. The weather's warming up, flowers are blooming, and it's time to get back outside and start thinking about your trees. When you reach for your phone to call a tree contractor, we hope you'll give Timberline the opportunity to earn your business. Timberline is locally owned and operated and fully dedicated to delivering the best overall customer experience while providing the highest quality care for your trees. Every one of our crews includes at least one ISA certified arborist on site, not just in the office, but right there at your home, so you can be confident the work is done safely, correctly, and always with your tree's best interests in mind. From planting and fertilization to pruning and removal, we're committed to excellence in everything trees. So when it's time to make that call Timberline Professional Tree Care at 636-479-7475 or visit us online at stltreecare.com.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
7:10 and time to check in with Roger Brand and the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center. It's not going to be a great morning for some folks trying to get to work.
Yeah, unfortunately, downtown, Debbie, we still have no change from this crash, reportedly involving a motorcyclist that occurred just about 5 a.m. this morning, so it's been a little over 2 hours now, and they closed down eastbound 44 at the Poplar Street Bridge where the crash occurred. So diverting traffic off at Park Avenue. Eastbound 44 is jammed back just a little west of Jefferson. 55 is backed up solidly at Arsenal. I'd suggest getting off at 3200 Broadway if you're on 55 and get off at Jefferson if you're approaching that, and take Jefferson over to 64 to avoid this closure. Again, a lot of times these reconstruction things take about 3 hours, so it could be until 8 o'clock, but we'll just keep tabs on it and let you know when it changes. Northbound 55, other than that, the right lanes are busy. Butler Hill to 270. North 270, a few slowdowns from 55 to Gravois, and then from Big Bend most of the way up to 64, it's pretty heavy. Eastbound 70, still a little slowdown passing Warrenton. Westbound 64, Clayton Skinker headed out through Big Bend's a little heavy in the Richmond Heights area. On the Illinois side, westbound 64 a little slow at 159 and approaching the Poplar. Next update is 720 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. What are we looking like for opening day?
KMOX AccuWeather, more sun than clouds today and much warmer this afternoon. High 81. The record is 84, set in 1907. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy and balmy, low 66. Mostly sunny tomorrow, a breezy, hot day. The high 94 would not only break the record of 87 for the date set in 1991, it would also break the all-time March record of 92 that was set back in 1929. A couple of thunderstorms tomorrow night will slice into this heat, and they can produce hail and damaging winds. Friday, a shower early, mainly south and east of the city. Breezy and dramatically colder as cloud yield to some sun. The high only 55. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Right now, it's 47 degrees as the sun comes up in downtown St. Louis.
The news continues at 7:12. The pre-excavation survey of the Westlake landfill is complete. The move brings the EPA one big step closer to removing the radioactive waste from the Manhattan Project. Local advocate Dawn Chapman with Just Moms STL is thrilled about that development.
Solidifies their promise to us that that's when it would start. That is what Administrator Lee Zeldin told us when he was in town almost a year ago.
The cleanup set to begin in 2027, although no specific date has been given.
Also in the news, the CEO of the St. Louis Public Library is leaving in October after 37 years. Waller McGuire points out there's still a lot in the library you can't get online.
The St. Louis Public Library has a collection measured in the millions of items, and we are slowly digitizing many of those things, but it'll take decades. So, for instance, we have one of the world's great collections of maps right across the street at Central Library.
McGuire describes one of the maps as describing to Thomas Jefferson what the Western Purchase was going to be with a handwritten note on it.
They do have some amazing things over there. An update for you on the Spanish Lake woman who had her food pantry stolen. It has been found and returned, but it is damaged. Erica George says once it's fixed up, she'll be up and running again. George put this little shed on her property in December and filled it with food and toiletries. And then on Friday night, video showing someone hooking the shed up to a trailer on the back of an SUV and then driving off with it.
Is an unusually warm opening day creating excitement around local bars?
I went out to some bars around Busch Stadium to see. Most didn't want to jinx it. Here's managing partner of Sports and Social, John Stark.
This might be one of the nicest opening days we got in a long
we don't bring up the
time.
weather.
All right, knock on wood and hope that storm doesn't come in hours earlier. But how does that kind of change things this year with the nice weather that we're expecting? And you are in charge of the outside area as well.
Indeed. So, I mean, we're ready to go. Whatever we need to do, we do. So we can have people rolling here. We are, like I said, we're partnered with Ballpark Village. We're the same company. We're the same friends. We're the same family. So, if they're over there doing the rain dance, it always affects us poorly on the plaza, but they always enjoy the push that they get in there.
Chris, the manager at Patios, did not want to tempt fate either after working since January towards reopening.
Are you expecting more people to come out because of that? Is that going to help you guys at all?
I'm not going to jinx it, so I'm not saying anything about the weather.
Sean Malone, KMOX News.
Oh, it's going to be great weather for opening day. It's going to be warm and sunny like a summer St. Louis night. Or day or afternoon. It's going to be one heck of a day. 3:15 first pitch for Matthew Liberatore. 2:30 for the Wagon Gates in right field for the Budweiser Clydesdales. And the following Hall of Famers will follow out the Clydesdales. You'll have Tony La Russa, Scott Rowland, Ted Simmons, and Ozzie Smith representing the Hall of Famers in Cooperstown. And these Cardinals Hall of Famers will wear red jackets as well. Vince Coleman, Al Raboski, Jason Isringhausen, Ray Langford, Willie McGee, Mark McGuire, Edgar Renteria, and John Tudor. Think about this. Next year, after they are officially elected, Albert Pujols and Yadier Molina will join them. David Eckstein and Gary Bennett will help throw out the first pitch. They are part of the 2006 World Champions. Eckstein was the World Series MVP that year. This is the 20th anniversary, and it's the 30th anniversary of Brian Jordan and Tom Pagnozzi and the 1996 NL Central champions. They'll be part of that first pitch ceremony as well. Tony La Russa managed all four of them. The Blues had some Cardinals players in attendance last night as they shut out the Washington Capitals. Final score was 3-0. Joel Hofer had the shutout, his 6th of the season. Here he is with the media after the game. 3-0 at Enterprise Center.
Shot attempts, I guess. Yeah, they've been great. Keeping to the outside, doing the little things right. I think we're getting out of our zone, pretty quickly. So it's a lot of things, obviously, little things that go unnoticed, but they're obviously doing a great job.
Hofer's a good one. He's only 25 years old. Again, 6 shutouts for him on the season, and the young Blues are really coming through here. Jimmy Snuggerud and Otto Stenberg had the goals, and then an empty netter for Jordan Kyrou in a 3-0 win over the Capitals at Enterprise Center. North Carolina has fired coach Hubert Davis. This is significant for a number of reasons. This head coach was connected with the past as the successor to retired Hall of Fame coach Roy Williams, who succeeded Dean Smith. So after decades of staying in-house, it does look like North Carolina is going to go outside the program to hire its next basketball coach, and this is a big move for Carolina. There will be some big names. Think of the biggest names in the sport you could possibly imagine. They'll probably get a call from the Tar Heels and make them say no, and then they'll move to the next call. And this could create a domino effect around college basketball. We'll see. Jerry McNamara has been hired as the head coach at Syracuse, former Orange guard, helped them win the championship in 2003. I'm Tom Ackerman on the Voice of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. So as you know, I'm a lawyer, haven't practiced in a long time, but I did plaintiff's work and defense work, so I have a pretty good understanding of it. I have a pretty good idea of who's who in the firmament of plaintiffs' attorneys. And for my money, Mark Cantor is the guy. He's a great attorney. He is a great practitioner. He's put together a great team. He was born and raised here. He lives here. He works here. He wins here. Call 314-628-ALL-9s or CantorInjuryLaw.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based on advertising.
Stop compromising and start saving with Seidenstricker Nobe Partners. Right now, get 0% financing for 84 months or $6,000 cash off a new John Deere 5E tractor, and we'll deliver it to you for free. Real work demands real equipment. All grit, that's the 5E. Visit snpartners.com or one of our Missouri or Illinois John Deere locations. Seidenstricker Nobe, your partner for the land.
Offer valid through 4/30/2026. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Okay, I have some really good news. While we do have the 0% a lot, we do have it on our regular products because you will be unbelievably shocked, especially if you call me and I'll give you the straight up scoop on how much money you can actually save by if you spent $20,000 versus $10,000 on a system. The difference could be as little as, I don't know, let's just say, not to exaggerate, 5 cents. So be careful out there, and always remember your energy savings is based on your house. It is not based on the equipment. So common sense advice and help and guidance. Again, call me, Bart Inman, one easy number, Missouri and Illinois. The easiest, 314-293-2600. Again, one easy number, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600. Or on the internet, that is bartinman.com. That is Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
Debbie Monterrey, Megan Lynch, Tom Ackerman. Total Information AM on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
7:20 and time for another check of traffic and weather together. We start with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, there's still no change downtown, Debbie, as the investigation continues into a motorcycle crash that occurred around 5 this morning, eastbound 44 before the Poplar. It's still closed. Traffic's being diverted off at Park. At least the jams haven't really gotten any longer. 44 is still jammed through Jefferson, 55 through Arsenal, so 3200 Broadway and Jefferson are the good jumping off points for you, those highways respectively to get around that closure. Northbound 55 is also a little backed up from Bayless up the river to Pear. North 270 slows your ramp on from 55 through Gravois, north of 44 all the way to Ladue. South 270 Olive to Ladue busy. If you're on eastbound Highway 70, that looks great this morning from Wentzville. No delays now all the way downtown. Eastbound 64, a little slow, Maryville Center to Mason. Westbound 64, Hampton to Hanley is a little heavy. And on the Illinois side, westbound 64 west of 50 to 159 is slow. And then 64, a little bit of a backup as you approach Ball Avenue to the 70 split. Next update is 7:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Weather from AccuWeather's Joe Lundberg. Warm today, a high of 81 degrees with more sun than clouds. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy and warm, low 66. Tomorrow for opening day, it's going to be hot, a high of 94. That's going to shatter the record of 87 set in 1991, and it would also break the all-time March record set in 1929 of 92. Then we drop about 40 degrees because thunderstorms Friday night will produce hail and damaging winds, could at least, and it will drop the temperature down into the 50s for the high on Friday. Right now, we're at 48 in downtown St. Louis.
It's 7:22 and the news continues as state budget talks heat up in the Missouri Capitol. Governor Kehoe is calling for cuts that he says are necessary to balance the books.
Doesn't mean that we don't like a certain service or we do like a certain service. When you're trying to cut in the next 2 years, potentially $2 billion, you have to make hard decisions.
State Senator Maggie Nurenburn warns that Governor Kehoe's proposed $54.5 billion budget includes about $600 million in cuts that she says could hit safety net services and education.
The Missouri Supreme Court handed a big win to President Trump and House Republicans yesterday.
In a 4-3 decision, the Missouri State Supreme Court ruled yes, the state legislature was within their legal rights to redraw Missouri's constitutional map mid-decade, carving up Kansas City to give Republicans an additional seat. Richard Von Glahn, the executive director of People Not Politicians, the group who has secured enough signatures to put a vote before the Missouri people, reacts to this ruling.
Ultimately ruled that politicians do have the right to do this whenever they want, which I think is going to be chaotic for voters.
He says they are still waiting for a ruling on their lawsuit, asking the maps be paused until the referendum is voted on. Von Glahn says this ruling makes their case even more important. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
Travelers have been dealing with long lines at airport security checkpoints, and the agency that runs TSA still doesn't have a budget. Dorothy from Carbondale called in to Congressman Mike Bost's telephone town hall last night, wanting to know how this stalemate ends.
I suspect we're all anxious to get TSA people paid, and I'm wondering what you would think is a reasonable compromise between the Democrats and the Republicans to come to some sort of give and take to be able to go forward on that. How could you bring the parties together?
Well, first off, let me explain to you that we would do what we had planned, what we did talk to them about in the first place, and that is we use body cameras on ICE if that's what they want. But remember, ICE, this is DHS funding. The only reason the Democrats are holding this up is because they want ICE to be punished, but ICE has already been paid years in advance.
Boss says the House has voted 3 times to fund DHS and that the holdup now sits with the Senate, where Democrats need 60 votes to advance the bill. Boss represents Illinois' 12th district, which includes parts of the Metro East.
A new report is giving Illinois a failing grade when it comes to civil forfeiture laws and finds most property owners never get their day in court.
The Institute for Justice, a nonprofit law firm, is out with its newest edition of Policing for Profit, and Illinois earns a D-. Lisa Knepper, the Institute's Senior Director for Strategic Research, says the report finds law enforcement here has a large financial incentive to seize property, cash, cars, even homes, often without proving anyone did anything wrong.
Police can take your property. It's usually cash, and it's usually small amounts of cash, if they think that it might be connected to a crime.
And here's the catch. Most owners never reach a judge. Data shows the majority lose property by default, blocked by confusing notices, tight deadlines, and costly filing requirements. Proceeds from seized property typically flow right back to the agencies that took it.
Under the law, they don't have to convict anyone in order to take their property away. So we just don't know.
The Institute for Justice says the fix is simple: end civil forfeitures altogether and require the state to prove guilt through standard criminal procedures. Glenn Marshall, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Alton city officials are considering moving the start time for Sunday liquor sales. By 6-1 vote Monday, they would change the start time from 9 to 8 a.m., according to the Riverbender, because a local golf course requested the early start time due to their Sunday tournaments, which start at 8.
And Alton's Sunday liquor sale start time is later than Sunday start times in surrounding towns. Collinsville Sunday start times 5 a.m. Edwardsville, Granite City, and Maryville begin their liquor sales at 6 a.m. The resolution still needs to be voted on at least 2 more times before it would take effect.
Hey, City Foundry is nominated once again for Best Food Hall in the Country in the USA Today 10 Best Reader's Choice Awards. It's the 4th year in a row it's earned that top 10 recognition. St. Louisans can vote for City Foundry through April 13th. Apparently, the one to beat is Mother Road Market in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's come in at number 1 the past 2 years in a row.
All right, let's go. Let's take them down. I like that we keep showing up on these lists, though. A lot of our attractions do.
Mm-hmm.
It's 7:27 Time Check, sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
There's nothing like hearing your friends and family clearly. A grandchild's laugh, conversation with a friend, or the punchline to a joke. Charlie Brennan here with Dr. Colleen Bosler from the Audiology Center. Dr. Bosler and her team understand that hearing is personal. That's why you'll always work with certified audiologists like Adam Voss, Bailey Campbell, and Dr. Colleen Bosler.
That's right, Charlie. We offer hearing aids from all major manufacturers, so our recommendations are based on what fits you best. With us, we follow best practice fitting methods to ensure your hearing aids are programmed precisely for your unique hearing needs. But our care doesn't end when you walk out the door. As we know, hearing aids require continued support, adjustments, and maintenance, and we offer these services at no extra cost to you. Because better hearing isn't just about devices, it's about reconnecting to the moments that matter most. Call us today at 636-441-7470, or visit us online at theaudiologycenterstl.com.
Straight Realty has always been an industry leader when it comes to commissions, so it should come as no surprise that the recent Realtor settlement has only empowered us to continue offering our sellers even better rates. We now list homes for only 2%. Hi, I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty. Call me 314-441-4444. Why pay more than 2? You can also listen to my podcast on my website, straightrealty.com.
Commissions are not regulated and are negotiable. Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Want a great way to boost your brand? Custom labels at Staples will help packages pop, shipments stand out, and takeout boxes really take off. Shop now through April 18th and save 30% on all custom labels. Staples, that was easy.
Pump up the volume. Business moves fast. Pump up the volume. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
At 7:30, 48 degrees with a sunny sky in downtown St. Louis. I'm Tom Ackerman.
I'm Debbie Monterrey, along with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, it's still status quo downtown, unfortunately. Eastbound 44 at the Poplar Street Bridge still shut down from the crash that occurred around 5 this morning. An accident reconstruction involved in this motorcyclist accident is the reason why. Northbound 55, the jams haven't changed. North 55 still jammed right as you approach Arsenal, so I'd bail out at 3200 Broadway. 44 is at about Jefferson. Get off there and avoid sitting in that traffic because it's just not moving. If you're on northbound 55, other than that, you've got heavy traffic from north of Butler Hill in the right lanes to 270. Bayless up to River to Pear. North 270 backed up 55 to Tesson Ferry, slow through Gravois, and then slow most of the way up to Ladue. Southbound 270 approaching Olive Ladue is busy. Out to the west, eastbound 70 looking great all the way in through 270. Eastbound 64, you've got slow traffic from Clarkson to almost 141, a little busy at Ballas, and then McKnight in through Big Bend. Westbound 64, the Science Center to Hanley heavy. South 170 delays at the Parkway. Looks like we have an incident southbound 170. Can't tell if it's a crash or a stall at Frost. It's backing up south 170 back onto the 270 ramps. Also an incident westbound 270 west of Riverview before Lilac. Traffic jamming at Riverview there. Westbound 6450 through 159, you've got a backup as well. Next update is 740 from the Overhead Door Company St. Louis Traffic Center.
It is going to be another interesting week weather-wise. You need to know that today is going to be 81 with more sun than clouds. Tomorrow, opening day, if you're outside partying or going to the game, is going to be hot, 94 degrees tomorrow. And that breaks all kinds of records. And then following all that heat, some strong storms moving through, hopefully tomorrow night. So it shouldn't hopefully affect the game, but it's going to push all the hot weather out. And by Friday, we'll have 55 degrees as a high. Right now, it is 46 downtown.
It's 7:32. No JB Blast this July 4th, and all county government offices will be closed on Fridays to in-person services, mainly for the Revenue Department to catch up on a backlog of processing senior property tax freeze applications.
County Executive Dr. Sam Page says the RAMS money is one way to fix the budget problems.
What's the reason that they're giving for not wanting to use RAMS money?
You'll have to ask them. I guess they're saving it for some other unknown purpose. The long-term solution is to pass the use tax, which will help us starting next year. That's on the ballot in August, and use one-time funds like we have for 20 years to keep county government functioning normally.
And how much is it left in the RAMS money?
Over $100 million. The RAMS money, the Special Project Legacy Fund, which I'm not sure what that's going to be for, or the revenue that turned over at the end of the year. Those are three easy sources to go and find the revenue that it would take to restore the services for St. Louis County residents. Once that money is appropriated, it's still going to be a couple of months before we can hire people to fill this stuff back in. And we got a lot of other service reductions to talk about in the next couple of months, and we haven't even got to furloughs yet.
And Page says the particulars on where and when the furloughs will happen are still being talked about. Maria Aquino, KMOX News.
That St. Louis County investigation into County Executive Page now has subpoena power behind it. The council voting to authorize subpoenas tied to allegations. Page continued working as an anesthesiologist in violation of a charter change approved by voters in 2022. Ethics Committee Chair Mike Archer spelled out the alleged time frame.
There were allegations that the county executive engaged in the practice of medicine from April 7th, 2022 until actually December 31st of this year in violation of the charter.
Page insists the work was unpaid volunteering and says he spent years volunteering at a hospital a few hours a week. The council could seek his removal from office if the allegations are proven.
The news is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. It's 7:34, your Money Minute next.
Tomorrow. Wear your red and celebrate with us live from Kegs and Eggs at Cardinals Nation inside Ballpark Village. Join us for exclusive opening day coverage presented by Budweiser, Dirt Cheap, and Rally House. Chris and Amy get things started at 9 a.m., followed by Ron G. and Ackerman at 11, and Glover and Wheeler taking over at noon. From special guests to Cardinals alumni, we've got everything you need to kick off the season. With the voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
During Lowe's Pro Savings Days, the job works in your favor. My Lowe's Pro Rewards members buy more and save more on the materials they rely on every day. Get up to 25% off select molding when you spend $1,000 or more, and up to 25% off Pergo Evercraft laminate flooring. Put Pro Savings Days to work for you. Members get more at Lowe's. Valid through 3/27. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Visit the Pro Desk or Lowes.com/terms for more details. Subject to change.
It is 7:36. This is Total Information AM. I'm Debbie Monterrey along with Tom Ackerman. We'll get you updated on traffic and weather here in just a couple of minutes. But first, let's get you your money report. It is sponsored by Busey Bank.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. A diplomatic push by Washington to end the war with Iran is bringing oil prices down this morning. The price of crude in the U.S. is $87 a barrel. The longer oil prices remain elevated, the bigger the impact on the American consumer. Stock futures are looking at a higher open this morning. OpenAI plans to discontinue its Sora artificial intelligence video generator just 6 months after the high-profile launch of a standalone app for the service. The ChatGPT maker will also wind down a partnership with Disney, which had centered on Sora. OpenAI is looking to simplify its portfolio of products. And Apple is planning an artificial intelligence reboot. The company is testing a standalone app for its Siri voice assistant alongside a new Ask Siri feature that will work across Apple's software. Sources tell us it's modernizing Siri by giving it a fresh look and a chatbot-like experience. The new Siri is slated to be unveiled June 8th. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
For nearly 100 years, Busey Wealth Management has helped families and businesses make smart financial decisions that stand the test of time. From personalized investment plans to tax strategies that work for you, we take a big picture approach, connecting you with the right experts to help protect what you've built and plan for what's next. Busey Wealth Management, here for every chapter of your financial story.
And call Zero Res. This is the perfect time to clean your air ducts as you deal with allergy season, furnace and air conditioning efficiency, post-winter, and more. This month, get a free size upgrade on every whole home air duct cleaning package. Don't you love when you buy your favorite coffee or soda and you get a free size upgrade? Nothing better than getting a large but paying for a medium. That's exactly what Zero Res is doing with their whole home air duct cleaning packages. Pay less for more fresh. Go online at ZeroResSTL.com Ask for the Dave Glover special.
This is Tom Ackerman. Let me put this in simple terms. You can't put your estate planning documents in a drawer and forget about them. That doesn't help your family when it matters most. If you want an estate plan that actually works, call the Lederman Law Firm at ledermanlaw.com, 314-514-9100. My family's trusted the Lederman Law Firm in St. Louis with our estate planning for over 20 years. And what sets them apart is they don't treat estate planning like a one and done thing. What it really is a living, breathing plan. So they'll build your plan, and then for a fixed annual fee, they help keep it updated as your life changes, because it will. Family needs change, assets change, the law changes. If you're in the St. Louis metro area, including Illinois, and you want real peace of mind, check out the Lederman Law Firm. The annual process they offer to help keep our plan up to date changes over time. The Lederman Law Firm, ledermanlaw.com, 314-514-9100. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
GLP-1s work, and STL weight loss injections can help you navigate the process. Their amazing staff is here to work with you to begin a new weight loss journey. The first month is just $199. For more information and to schedule an appointment, head to stlweightlossinjections.com.
Hi, this is Steve Butts from the Crawford Butts Insurance Agency. In 2026, our agency celebrates a momentous occasion as we celebrate 65 years of service to our clients, a tribute to our founder and my dad, Norm Butts. Our staff is ready to assist you with all your insurance needs. So please call me, Steve Butts, at 314-752-2500 or at crawfordbutts.com. For auto, home, and commercial insurance needs, that's crawfordbutts.com.
Bernie Miklas here for Saliga Heating and Cooling. Our family's called the Saliga family for 18 years, and we are grateful for Saliga's honesty, knowledge, and professionalism. They're the best. For more info, visit SaligaHeatingandCooling.com.
Debuting Tuesday, March 31st, it's All Access with Cardinals manager Ollie Marmol. Get inside your Redbirds in the 2026 season every Tuesday at noon on your voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
7:40, time for traffic and weather. Traffic has been a bit of a bear this morning. Let's get the latest from Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Yeah, there's still no change from our original issue downtown, Debbie, on eastbound 44. This traffic reports service of Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. It's been closed since 5 a.m. because of a motorcyclist crash. Need to talk about our USPS Ground Advantage reliable route. Well, because it's closed, eastbound 44 is jammed through Jefferson, 55 through Arsenal. Those are the bailout points. Go Jefferson north to 64. If you're on 44, get off at 3200 Broadway off 55. You can take Broadway up to Gratiot to 6th Street to rejoin eastbound 64 to get on the Poplar if that's where you need to get to right now. Northbound 55 is your ramp onto Newark 270's jammed to Tesson Ferry, then pretty much Gravois all the way to Ladou's busy. South 270 south of Dorset to Ladue is slow. Eastbound 64 through the Chesterfield Parkway is heavy. East of Lindbergh into Big Bend. Westbound 64 from Kings Highway out through Big Bend is heavy. And a couple of crashes on the north side. Westbound 64 just west of Riverview. Looks like the left lane's at least partially blocked. Traffic's jammed back near the Canal Bridge. And South 170 at Frost. The left lane's blocked. Traffic's jammed back on to the 270 ramps. Westbound 6450 through 159, you've got the usual delays. 100 years, that's how long Overhead Door Company of St. Louis has been repairing and replacing garage doors for same-day repair service and no extra charge for evening or Saturday service. Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com. Next update is 7:50 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
All right, AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. I'm excited about this warm weather, actually, for opening day. I am. And the rain threat isn't until later that night, correct?
That's correct. I think we'll have no trouble getting the ball game in. It's just going to be a toasty day for baseball. It's going to be like in the middle of summer tomorrow afternoon for opening day. How warm is it going to get? How about 94 for the high tomorrow, which would obliterate the daily record of 87 and also wipe out the existing March record of 92. Ahead of it, gets warmer today with sunshine and some clouds, and we get to about 81. Tonight, mid-60s under partly cloudy skies. More sunshine tomorrow, a breezy, hot afternoon up to 94. Strong thunderstorms after dark, and they could produce hail and damaging winds, and it signals the arrival of a cold front. And behind that front, it is going to be dramatically cooler on Friday. Clouds and a shower give way to some afternoon sun, the high 55. Sunny skies Saturday, high 59. Sunday, partly sunny, the high near 70. Right now, it's 46 at St. Peter's and in Florissant. Partly sunny, 50 downtown at the Arch. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It is 7:43 and the news continues. Global markets have shot up on President Trump's latest assertion that the Iranians want to reach a peace deal with the U.S., but it's a different story in Iran.
I'm Vicky Barker at the Foreign Desk in London. This is an Iranian military spokesman denying that negotiations with the U.S. are underway and mockingly suggesting that the U.S. is negotiating with itself. Do not call your defeat an agreement, he says, adding that Iran will never come to terms with the U.S.
It's now 7:44. Airport security lines aren't getting any shorter as TSA officers working without pay call out sick in droves. And with patients running out, United Airlines CEO Scott Kirby called on lawmakers to restore funding the Department of Homeland Security right away.
I think it's unconscionable that our politicians haven't gotten this done, and that we have security agents that are not being paid and they're still showing up. And kudos to them for doing that.
DHS says more than 450 TSA officers have quit since the shutdown began more than a month ago.
Federal investigators say a runway collision at New York's LaGuardia Airport could have been prevented. We get more from CBS's Tom Hansen.
The National Transportation Safety Board says the Critical Airport Surface Detection System, or ASDX, which tracks ground movement, failed to activate before the deadly collision between a plane and fire truck at LaGuardia Airport Sunday.
ASDX did not generate an alert due to the close proximity of vehicles merging and unmerging near the runway.
NTSB Chair Jennifer Hamady said none of the trucks on the runway responding to reports of fumes on a United Airlines flight had transponders to alert air traffic controllers of their precise locations.
Opening day tomorrow. First things first, though, we have a big broadcast today. Gas House Gang is going to be live at the Rally House location in Brentwood Point. Ever been there? It's like a closet of magnificent proportions, filled with everything you could possibly want in St. Louis sports. And you know who's going to be there with us on the back half of the Chris and Amy show and on the Gas House Gang? This guy, Matt Adams, Big City, who did something in 2014 in the NLDS that shook Busch Stadium and, quite honestly, the Dodgers fan base as well. You ever heard Vin Scully's call of this? This is Clayton Kershaw pitching.
Matt Adams with 13 game-winning RBIs during the regular year. Kershaw ready and delivers, and a drive to right. Going back on the ball is Kemp. It is gone in the Cardinal bullpen, and it's 3-2 St. Louis. They are going wild in the Mound City. A long fly ball home run by Matt Adams, and once again, the 7th or the 8th inning has killed the Dodgers. It has chased Clayton Kershaw after singles by Holiday and Peralta, a home run by Adams. Clayton walking across the third base foul line with his head down, now lifts it and kind of looks up at the upper deck and will slowly disappear. And if the Dodgers don't come back, he will disappear for the remainder of the postseason and for the year. So big Matt Adams jumping in the air with sheer delight, hitting the big 3-run home run. And the Cardinals have done it again. It started innocently enough, except it was the 7th inning. And if anything, the Dodgers know that this is a 9-inning game. And they usually trip and fall. And sure enough, they gave up the lead.
That is a thing of beauty, that call from Vin Scully. And the home run from Matt Adams. That blast off Clayton Kershaw had Busch Stadium in a frenzy. And Big City will join us today at the Rally House location, Brentwood Point. He'll begin there at 11:30 and then join us for the Gas House Gang from 12 to 1. We very much look forward to that. And then tomorrow, opening day. So here's what we have for you. We're going to start things off at Cardinals Nation inside Ballpark Village. We'll be there at 9 with Chris and Amy. They'll go from 9 to 11. Chris will stay with me for the Gas House Gang from 11 to noon. And from noon to 1:35, it's Kevin Wheeler and Dave Glover holding court. And as always, we will have celebrities coming in and out of the restaurant. No tickets this year. It's a free event. Come in and just enjoy Cardinals Nation and air conditioning. It's going to be a warm one, as we've told you. And then Matthew Liberatore will throw the first pitch at 3:15. But, of course, before that, And what everybody needs to know is get into the ballpark early, beat security lines, and get in there and get your beverages and your food and be in your seats by 2:30, because that's when the Budweiser Clydesdales come out of the right field wagon gate, and the following will be after them wearing red jackets. Listen to this list: Tony La Russa, Scott Rowland, Ted Simmons, Ozzie Smith, Vince Coleman, Al Raboski, Jason Isringhausen, Ray Lankford, Willie McGee, Mark McGuire, Edgar Renteria, and John Tudor. And throwing out the first pitch from the 06 Cardinals, David Eckstein and Gary Bennett. From the 96 Cardinals, Brian Jordan and Tom Pagnazzi. The Blues won last night with some Cardinals in attendance at Enterprise Center, 3-0 over the Capitals. And North Carolina fired Coach Hubert Davis. They've already had one big name turn them down. Brad Stevens has let them know he is not interested. I'm Tom Ackerman on the Voice of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
This is Congressman Bob Onder. Tax season is here, and Missouri families are already seeing the real impact of the Working Families Tax Cut Act. House Republicans are delivering real results for hardworking Missourians. According to the Council of Economic Advisors, the bill is projected to raise wages in Missouri by about $3,000 to $6,000 over the next 4 years. That's more money for groceries, gas, and greater security for your family's future. In Congress, I'm working to protect working families, strengthen our economy, and ensure you are keeping more of your hard-earned money.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Wait, Corey from Air Comfort Service? What are you doing in my basement?
Standing behind our work.
It's 9 p.m.
At Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Installation, we take pride in our work. If you need heating service, no matter the time of day or night, we're here to help with 24/7 emergency service.
So you're just going to stand behind my furnace?
Yeah, pretty much.
Can you hand me those paper towels then?
Absolutely. For heating service or HVAC maintenance, visit aircomfortservice.com. That's aircomfortservice.com.
Backed by popular demand, don't miss Blues Mystery Hat Giveaway Night. Join us April 7th as the Blues battle the Avalanche and take home an exclusive mystery hat to add to your collection. The first 10,000 fans will receive one of 3 hat styles, courtesy of Ticketmaster. The hats represent 3 eras of Blues hockey, and each features a stitched wordmark and logo from that era. Mystery hats are only available during this game, so get your tickets now at stlouisblues.com.
Calling all runners. Register now for the Cardinals 5K on Saturday, April 18th, and you can take a victory lap on the field at Busch Stadium. Don't miss this chance to bring the whole family for a fun St. Louis 5K race that brings fans together to support kids in the community. The Cardinals 5K, Saturday, April 18th. Register now at cardinals.com/5K. And for more information, just head to kmox.com/events.
Your morning news and information. Total Information AM.
7:51, bright sunshine in downtown St. Louis. Let's get the latest first on the traffic from Roger Brandon, the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we still have no change downtown, Debbie, on eastbound 44. Normally, these accident reconstruction investigations take about 3 hours, and this crash occurred right around 5 a.m., so I wouldn't expect things to change till after 8. Still closed at the Poplar Street Bridge. 44 now is jammed back through Grand. Northbound 55. Looks like we have an incident right between Potomac and 3200 Broadway, so a jam at Potomac. But then north of there, Arsenal up to 44, obviously it's jammed because of the closure at the Poplar. Everybody's being diverted off at Park if they don't get off before then. Eastbound 44 also has heavy traffic, Hampton to Kings Highway. North 270 is a ramp on from 55. It's just pockets all the way up to Ladue. South 270, Dorset to Ladue is busy. Eastbound 70, a little busy through 5th Street and around Earth City. Eastbound 64, a little slowdown at Lake St. Louis Boulevard at Clarkson, Lindbergh, all the way in through the Interbelt. Westbound 64, Hampton to Hanley. South 170, still have this crash at Frost with the left lanes blocked. It's jammed back onto 270. Still have this incident, at least partially in the left lane. Westbound 270 between Riverview and Lilac. That westbound 270 now jammed back past Route 3. Next update is 7:58 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Weather forecast from AccuWeather's Joe Lundberg says it's going to be a warm one on opening day, high of 94. That would be described as hot. Warm is today, 81 for the high. Overnight, we're going to get a low of 66. It's 48 right now.
The news continues on KMOX. There are ways we can determine whether older loved ones are getting the proper nutrition.
One thing is that
hydration, it can be really, really challenging because our thirst receptors go down as we age. So we don't feel thirsty as often.
Michelle Wilson is a registered dietitian with Brands Nutrition.
So you might notice like dried spit at the corners of their mouths or things like that, or like their skin seems drier or things like that. So just making sure that they're getting adequate hydration, very, very important.
She tells Total Information AM, weight loss leads to muscle loss and brittle bones.
They fall down and they break a hip or something. That's a pretty thick bone. So it would only break if they had nutrition deficiencies that reduce down the density of their bones.
Wilson says try to get the nutrients through food, but if you need to, supplement drinks are okay to add. Things like Ensure. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
A truck crash in south central Missouri has left a lingering stench.
Tofu crashed weeks ago in Doolittle, Missouri, in Phelps County. The 500-plus residents there have been complaining about the odor of the spoiled cargo ever since. The truck crashed along Highway 44 east of Rolla March 1st. MoDOT and other agencies are working to address logistical issues and remove the cargo, which some describe as smelling foul, sour, and very unpleasant. Sue Danielson, Missouri Net.
There's a new term being used in the medical field that's made up of two words that you probably don't want to hear together, and that would be super and lice. The name comes as parents and doctors are seeing an increase in this variant of lice, which is proving resistant to over-the-counter treatment. Dr. Charlotte Albinson with BJC Medical Group says all types of lice can spread and crawl fast, which is the main concern parents should try to mitigate.
What's really recommended is to wash all of their towels, bed linens, that type of thing, in hot water and dry in a hot dryer for at least 30 minutes. And then also things at home like pillows, stuffed animals, those need to be sealed in a plastic bag for 2 weeks.
Albinson says she wants to remind parents that lice do not carry disease. They are just irritating and itchy for the children who have them.
Washington University announced this year's commencement speaker from New York City on the set of Watch What Happens Live.
Chancellor Martin, what are you doing here?
St. Louis's own Andy Cohen. Andy, brought a little something for you.
Wash U commencement, save the date?
Andy, how would you like to come speak to our graduates?
Chancellor, I thought you'd never ask.
Cohen grew up in Clayton. He announced that he'll see the seniors all on May 15th from the set of his show, and he'll bring the emos and Busch beer.
It's Halloween in March. The annual Trans World Halloween and Attraction Show returns to America's Center to Thursday through Sunday. It's the only industry trade show of its kind in the world for both professionals and novices who put on haunted attractions or run corn mazes, pumpkin patches, amusement park stores, and more. The show features larger-than-life displays with animatronic monsters, light displays, fog-filled Hollywood-like sets, and live entertainment.
It's 7:56.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-566-3062. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-566-3062. That's 800-566-3062. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Ready to hit a home run with your backyard? Call Artistic Decks. We're celebrating 25 years of A-plus service with massive rollback pricing. Get a professional custom-built deck for less. Hit it out of the park with Artistic Decks. Call 314-280-0821 today.
The Woodlands of Arnold campus offers skilled rehab, a beautiful assisted living community, and a secure memory care to keep your loved ones safe. Check us out at rspseniorliving.com. That's rspseniorliving.com.
Let's get a check of the roads with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Debbie, eastbound 44 is still closed at the Poplar Street Bridge. 44 actually has slow traffic, Elm to Laclede Station. It's around the bend, Southwest Avenue, almost to Kings Highway, and then from Vandeventer, it jams all the way up to that closure. 55 has a little bit of a backup through Potomac and 3200 Broadway, but again, it remains heavy. They're diverting all traffic off at Park Avenue. Westbound 270, they cleared the incident at Riverview, but you're still jammed Route 3 to the Chain Rocks Bridge. Next update at 8:10 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Sunny sky, 48 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Tom Ackerman. You know who else kicks off their season this weekend? The Battlehawks. Megan Lynch talks with UFL owner Mike Ripoli about the future of the league.
Missouri's Supreme Court says redrawing the state congressional districts, not a problem under the Constitution. KMOX legal analyst Brad Young tells us about other legal challenges to the map that would give Republicans another seat.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. Sunshine and some clouds today and becoming noticeably warmer, our high 81.
That sounds like good weather to get out to the Brentwood Point Rally House. We'll be there, Chris and Amy live, and then the Gas House gang from 12 to 1 from that location. Matt Adams will join us.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. The U.S. has handed Iran a 15-point peace plan to end the war, but Israel's economy minister doesn't expect Tehran to go along. The BBC's Lucy Williamson.
The regime was not going to change, he said, and Israel's main objectives for the war were to leave it with no nukes, no missiles, and no proxies. On the question of whether Israel was aligned with the American proposals, he said, let's leave it vague, but it's very, very clear. The Americans and Israelis are aligned with accomplishing those goals.
I'm Vicky Barker at the Foreign Desk in London. This is an Iranian military spokesman denying that negotiations with the U.S. are underway and mockingly suggesting that the U.S. is negotiating with itself. Do not call your defeat an agreement, he says, adding that Iran will never come to terms with the U.S.
President Trump is sending about 1,000 U.S. military members who specialize in parachuting into hostile territory into the Middle East. Today, Iran says it fired cruise missiles at the USS Abraham Lincoln. In Washington, the House Committee on Homeland Security holds a meeting this morning on the shutdown that's left TSA workers without paychecks and created hours-long lines at airports. United Airlines CEO Scott Kirby tells CBS News.
It gets worse every day as it goes by. But the crazy thing about this is that, that's what causes our politicians to get it done. It's ridiculous to me that it has to get bad before they can get a deal done. But please get the deal done soon.
First-time political candidate Emily Gregory, a Democrat, has a message to the powers to be. After she flipped a seat in a Florida congressional district that includes Mar-a-Lago, President Trump's place in Palm Beach.
Go ahead, legislatures, go ahead, representatives, focus on property insurance, healthcare, education. Focus on the things that Floridians care about.
The president endorsed her opponent, Republican John Maples. Worried about pesticides in your fruits and veggies? CBS's Michael Wallace.
The nonprofit Environmental Working Group says more than 1/3 of the non-organic produce it checked tested positive for at least one of 31 pesticides classified as PFAS or forever chemicals.
Moving to the country, I'm gonna eat a lot of peaches.
Peaches, plums, strawberries, and grapes had the highest levels of PFAS pesticide residues. Sweet corn and mushrooms had the lowest levels.
Average price for a gallon of regular gas today up to $3.98. Dow futures are up $3.30. NAS futures ahead $2.08. This is CBS News.
The stars shine brighter on CBS Morning.
This is a slam dunk.
So cute. Gail came in singing for me today.
On CBS Mornings.
At 8:03, we have cloudy skies, 46 degrees downtown at the Arch. Today is Wednesday, March 25th. I'm Megan Lynch. Police still looking for the person who shot a 13-year-old boy in St. Louis yesterday. St. Louis City Police say the boy was in surgery last night and is in critical but stable condition. Officials say the boy was shot after having a conversation with the shooter Tuesday afternoon. After multiple 911 calls were made, witnesses put the boy in their car and started driving him to the hospital. During the drive, they flagged down an ambulance, which then transported that teen the rest of the way. Police say they do not think the shooting was a random act of violence. Charges have been issued following a recent shooting that left 2 dead and 3 critically injured. St. Louis police say 26-year-old Lynch Malin has been charged with first-degree murder following the death of a 21-year-old involved in the shooting. That shooting took place outside a smoke shop north of downtown St. Louis Saturday. 2 of the men pronounced dead on the scene, the other 3 critical but stable. The police say Malin was the only person involved in that gunfire who was not shot. A Bridgeton pediatrician sentenced to 20 years in prison told a federal judge he's embarrassed and ashamed that his mother would be turning over in her grave. 70-year-old Craig Spiegel, convicted on multiple charges of prescribing tens of thousands of pills to at least 24 women in exchange for sex, explicit photos, or cash. Prosecutors say he coerced women who were struggling with addiction. Some of the women were once his patients. Over the course of a decade, he wrote more than 1,200 illegal prescriptions and also defrauded Medicare and Medicaid.
Scrambled to get the budget done by the December 31st deadline, they cut an additional 12 positions from the Department of Revenue.
The divide between St. Louis County executive and the council has never been wider. Sam Page says he's canceling the JB Blast July 4th. The council says it's not necessary.
There's a $46,000 expense associated with that. Last year, the revenue was $44,000 associated with it. If we needed to find an additional $2,000 for sponsorships, I suspect we could probably do that.
St. Louis County Councilman Dennis Hancock, who is running for county executive, tells KMOX but the 250th birthday of the U.S., Dr. Page, should be looking for other ways to fund it.
Why so many cuts to the revenue department?
There weren't any cuts to the revenue department. That's just it. They had some temps in for last year at the beginning of RECA and for the senior tax freeze. Well, those temps were let go at the end of the year. So all of the full-time positions were funded.
Page has ordered the South, North, and Clayton government offices to close on Fridays for the revenue department to catch up on backlogs. Maria Akita, KMOX News.
The county council, meantime, authorized subpoenas in its investigation into whether County Executive Page violated the county charter by holding outside employment while in office. The full council approved the measure on a voice vote. Ethics Committee Chair Mike Archer.
Madam Chair, the Ethics Committee met yesterday, and that was in response to the Missouri Ethics Commission complaint that was filed against the county executive for outside work. We considered that and determined that we need to proceed from a factual basis in terms of issuing subpoenas.
The investigation stems from a complaint filed by a county resident with the Missouri Ethics Commission. It alleges Page continued practicing as an anesthesiologist at SSM Health despite a 2022 charter change barring the county executive from any outside work. Page fired back, calling the council's action, quote, a serious spectacle. He says some people cannot comprehend that an elected official would do something without being paid. The EPA has completed a major milestone toward clearing the radioactive waste out of the Westlake landfill.
This is the best news about the site that we've had in a very long time.
Dawn Chapman with Just Bombs STL as the EPA announced they've concluded their pre-excavation sampling of the landfill where the Manhattan Project radioactive waste was dumped. Chapman says this means the EPA now knows exactly where all that radioactive waste is.
This last little bit is what they needed to do. They needed to find it all. They've got a great plan. They just needed to know where to apply the plan.
The EPA announced last year they were moving up the excavation of the landfill 2 years to 2027. No start date more specific than that has been provided. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
From the KMOX business desk, the Lawrence Group has a new president and CEO. Mike Schnarr has been with the architecture and design firm since 1997. He specializes in healthcare planning and has helped bring in more than $40 million in annual revenue for the firm. Coming up, he's the force behind Vitamin Water, Body Armor, and No Bull. UFL owner Mike Rapoli is going to join me to talk about how he intends to brand that league as the Battlehawks get ready to kick off the season this weekend. And stay with us for traffic and weather. Traffic's been a mess this morning. Roger will have an update on that in 2 minutes. It's 8:08.
Hey guys, Glover here with my very good friend John Moriarty from E3 Wealth. John and I go back years and years and years. John, it's great to have you back in the DGS fold. Tell everyone who's unfamiliar with E3 Wealth what you guys are all about.
Thanks, Dave. So happy to be back. E3, the 3 E stand for Educate, Empower, Enlighten. We founded the firm, and sometimes refer to it as E3 Consultants Group, because we want to proactively challenge the status quo as to how Americans are educated about money and finance related decisions. It's a lot. So really what we try to do for our clients is help them think differently about money. And recently we've been doing a ton of things with business owners because we see that as an area where we can provide tremendous growth for them, because we can help them build wealth through their business and also reduce their income tax liabilities. And when you can do that for a business owner, it makes a huge difference in their life.
It's kind of one-stop shopping for all finances, personal and business.
Absolutely. Yes, that's our focus. That's what we're attempting to do with our new book that's coming out called The Entrepreneur Playbook. We're going to be able to help a lot of people understand strategies, ideas on how to build their wealth and also protect it.
So John is a total pro, completely vouch for him as a person. Love this guy. No pressure, no hard sales. You want to learn more about your finances, personal and business, reach out to John at e3wealth.com.
Hey guys, Kevin Wheeler here. I want to tell you about Burn Balance Complex. It's Burn Balance Edge for men, Burn Balance Zen for women, available at supplement superstores. This is the top of the line, a complete metabolism system, an all natural weight loss option, by the way, for people who don't want to get into prescriptions. If you don't like needles, this is for you. And it gets your metabolism working at peak levels, helps you with appetite control and cravings, all day focused energy. So get out to supplement superstores, tell them Kevin Wheeler sent you, and they will knock 30% off the Burn Balance Complex. To find your location, go to supplementsuperstores.com.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts. Now the news at 9, The Talk. The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
8:10 on KMOX. It looks like 44 is still a mess this morning. Let's get the latest from Roger Brand. He's in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, good news downtown on 44, Megan. They've reopened the highway. Now, the left lane is still closed, but it looks like they're just in the process of picking up the cones. You know, I mentioned earlier that normally accident reconstruction work normally takes about 3 hours. This crash occurred around 5 a.m. and it's a little bit after 8. And again, they're opening up the traffic lanes now. So that's good news. But if you're on eastbound 44, you've got slow traffic from Southwest through Hampton, and then it jams from Vandeventer all the way up through Park Avenue before it starts rolling. 55, you've got delays from about 3200 Broadway, actually Potomac, up through 44. Not a solid jam, and it'll keep getting better, so that's good news. Also, some good news in North County. Westbound 270 is pretty well cleared out. There's just a little bit of a backup both sides of Route 3. The earlier incident was at Riverview, and they just cleared the crash. South 170 at Frost, although, again, there's still a backup coming off the 270 ramps there. Northbound 270, Graveway up to Ladou's busy. Eastbound 64, Maryville Center to 270, east of Lindbergh through the Inner Belt's heavy. Westbound 64, Hampton to Hanley is slow. Next update at 8:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
More sun than clouds today and becoming much warmer. High 81. The record is 84 from 1907. Fair skies, warm tonight, though 66. Mostly sunny, breezy, and hot tomorrow. High 94. That would break the record of 87 from 1991. Would also break the all-time March record of 92. A couple of thunderstorms will slice into this heat rather abruptly tomorrow night, and they can produce severe weather, including hail and damaging winds. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Currently, we do have cloudy skies, 48 degrees in Florissant. It's 47 in St. Peters and 46 degrees downtown at the Arch.
St. Louis, can you feel it? It's back.
Welcome to opening day.
The tradition.
The majestic Budweiser Clydesdales.
The sound of baseball in the air. A swing and a long one. This Thursday is opening day. We show up, we wear red, we stand together. New season, fresh start. Your St. Louis Cardinals are ready. And all season long, every moment lives here. 104.1 FM KMOX, the voice of the Cardinals.
New Game Plus with Oxy makes your laundry smell incredible.
and fight stubborn smells, like the ones your dog Biscuit brought into your freshly made bed last night. But you washed that all away with Gain, and now you're drifting asleep to the scent and sound of waves. Ah, no, that's the dog licking your ear.
Biscuit.
It just might be our greatest scent ever, now with odor fighting power. New Gain Plus with Oxy.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Hereeth my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover is accepted at the places I love to shop. Getteth with the times.
With the times? You're playing the lute.
Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
A lot of people are getting their air conditioners tuned up and ready to go for the summer, and we're getting a lot of calls of people saying they want a second opinion, to have us come out and requesting us to come out there and take a look at their air conditioners. They've been told that they need a new one, and the repair is quite costly, and it might be best for them to replace the air conditioner and then repair it. If you're in that situation, please give me a call, because there is truly some opportunities here for you that we could save you lots of money, because I'm sure you're going to be shocked. We have the equipment that still works best for you with your budget. It's pretty much the best. Is what I would put in my home, is what I would recommend. Give me a call. It's Bart Inman. One easy number, the easiest number in Missouri and Illinois. That is 314-293-2600. Or the online thing, and that is bartinman.com. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
This is Total Information AM on KMOX. I'm Megan Lynch, and we're going to learn something today. If you have not heard about panopticons, we are going to talk about that with Julie Smith. She is a Webster University media instructor, author, and public speaker. This is not a different kind of convention.
No, it does sound like that, doesn't it?
What is a panopticon? And specifically, you've been speaking with your classes about digital panopticons.
Digital panopticon. So the traditional panopticon, it's just fun to say. I just love to say it. It's a circular prison where the guard is in the center and the cell blocks are built in a huge circle around the guard tower. And this gives the prisoners the idea that they're constantly being watched, which affects their behavior, right? So the digital panopticon refers to how people behave as though they are constantly being watched and judged. And an example of this, there was an article in the Wall Street Journal that said a man went to a party and no one would dance. No one was dancing at this party because they were afraid that they were going to be filmed, which I find so interesting because normally we post everything, we post everything online that we do. So it's this weird irony that we have volunteered for this surveillance. We participate in it, we perform for it, we monetize it. But when the chips are down, it still makes us nervous a little bit. There's an interesting quote, a question. Are we the prisoners in this digital panopticon, or are we the guards? And I think in some cases we're both.
Does this make us even more fake online? Because that's always been an accusation that's leveled at people online, that, we present our best face. I mean, like we would socially a lot of times, but especially it's magnified on social media.
Right. We curate ourselves for an audience. We modify our behavior. The fancy term for it is performative identity management. Like we are always thinking about how we appear. So I don't want to dance at a party because I might end up dancing like Elaine from Seinfeld, right? And then I would go viral, and that's embarrassing. So I think that this is an interesting topic to talk about with people. Like, who is your audience when you post? Is your identity different depending on the platform you are posting on, right? Like, do you post differently on LinkedIn than you would on Facebook, than you would on TikTok? And it just seems like it's self-censorship out of fear more than anything else.
I'm going to get deeply philosophical here, but it almost strikes me as our social media constructs have replaced religion for people, because this used to be the place of people who would say, well, I'm under the authority of a deity, And this is the doctrine, and that deity is always watching me, so I have to govern my behavior. And now it seems like we have given it over to this new god of social media.
You should be a philosophy professor. No, but I think that you're absolutely right. I think that, Gen Z and even to an extent millennials grew up knowing that they are constantly being watched, and not just by social media platforms, but by Ring cameras and CCTV cameras everywhere. I think that it has to live in the back of the mind of a lot of people that they're constantly being filmed.
You've talked a lot with us about echo chambers, and how it just kind of reinforces ideas that people have. How does this reinforce false stereotypes?
Oh, constantly, because the digital panopticon keeps us from wanting to break out of, for lack of a better term, it keeps us from wanting to break out of our shell. And as long as we're in that shell, we're going to present whatever stereotype people apply to us.
Compounding that, how do algorithms then magnify this effect that human beings are already imposing on themselves?
Yeah, the algorithms really capitalize on the digital panopticon because they realize that the more people portray themselves in a certain way, the more engagement it's going to get. And, it's all about engagement and the money.
Is it possible to still be authentic and real on platforms under this construct of a panopticon?
Well, I'm going to put on the philosophy hat now and say, is it possible to be authentically real even in person?
Because we may always be videotaped.
Right. And we're always being judged, right? Even when we're in person. So I think that it's a really interesting conversation to have about how this digital surveillance that we've gotten used to has kind of bled into our regular world.
And yet, on the other hand, we have said of social media that it's allowed people who are on the fringe of our society to get mainstream exposure.
And to find community. Right. So, yeah, who knows? It's crazy.
What do you think this is doing to our mental health and our ability to interact appropriately socially?
How much time do we have?
Yeah. I mean, what do you see? Okay, so I would say, what do you see with your students in your classes without exposing them too much?
I have a hunch. That because they have grown up with algorithms, they very rarely are given any information that they did not either choose themselves or tell the algorithm that they liked. So it's very difficult for them to receive information that ruffles their feathers. And in the classroom, it's the only time that they're consuming information they didn't choose themselves. So it's really hard to keep their attention. I mean, you have to teach like your hair's on fire just to keep their attention, because from the minute they wake up and put their AirPods in to the minute they go to sleep, they are consuming media messages that were designed or delivered to them algorithmically. And I think that inhibits their ability to deal with conflict. I think it hurts their ability to have difficult conversations. And I think that long term, it's going to be really interesting to see how this plays out.
Great food for thought. Thank you so much, Julie.
You bet.
Let's get a check of the roads now with Roger Brand. He's in the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, things are looking better downtown, Megan. If you're north on 55, you just have a little bit of a slowdown approach in Potomac to 3200 Broadway, and 44 is just kind of busy from Southwest Avenue toward Grand, but again, it's getting better by the minute. If you're coming in on eastbound 64, there's still heavy traffic. Mason to 270 east of Lindbergh into Big Bend, westbound 64 Science Center to Hanley heavy, south 170 bogs down at the Parkway, north 270 Gravois most of the way up to Ladue is pretty busy. Westbound 64 west of 3rd Street to the Poplar, and both sides of 159 are heavy. Next update at 8:30 from the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
And checking that forecast for today, more sun than clouds, warmer this afternoon. We could hit a high of 81 degrees. Clear to partly cloudy, warm tonight, an overnight low of 66. And then tomorrow, mostly sunny, breezy, and hot with a high of 94. Right now, we have 48 degrees in Florissant, 47 degrees in St. Peter's, 46 degrees downtown at the Arch. And of course, we were not able to connect with UFL owner Mike Rapoli a little bit earlier this morning. So we're going to try to reschedule that for later this week.
Every business starts with an idea. With Smart Business Buying from Amazon Business, get everything you need to grow in one familiar place. From office supplies to IT essentials and maintenance tools. Ready to bring your visions to life? Learn how at AmazonBusiness.com.
Tom Ackerman here. Sure is nice to walk around the yard and see all the changes. The grass is coming in. Things are starting to pop out of the ground. And yes, the trees are going to be there. They are starting to get themselves back to what they used to be. Gamma Tree experts will come over and take a look and see if anything is different. If trees are not healthy, if limbs are extending too far, they can do all of the work for us and make sure that our trees stay healthy for the long haul. They are our living investments in our yard, and we love our trees. They know we love those trees. They're going to keep them healthy at Gamma Tree Experts. Gamma Tree has been in business since 1954. When it comes to tree care, look no further than Tim Gamma and Tom Gamma and their great company started by their father many years ago. Gamma Tree Experts. They're online at gammatree.com. Visit them at gammatree.com or call them 314-725-6159. Your trees deserve the best care.
You're back with Total Information AM here on KMOX. One of my favorite lunch spots, the City Foundry Food Hall, has been nominated for Best Food Hall in the country in the USA Today 10 Best Readers' Choice Awards. With me now, Matt Sorth, Operations Manager for City Foundry. Good morning, Matt.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. I would love to see the Food Hall get this honor. What's it mean to be nominated again?
I tell you what, it really does mean a lot to us and a lot to the city of St. Louis to be able to have all of us put on a stage like this.
So how many local kitchens are at the Foundry now?
So currently we have 18 all local chefs with varying types of cuisine. So there really is something for everybody.
I love there's a Creole and Cajun kitchen there that I love. Obviously some great pizza options. What else do you have there?
Yeah, so anything from Afro-Caribbean to Mexican, and then also the staples, like you mentioned, the pizza, burgers. We also have Asian Mexican fusion. So really, if you can find something there.
Yeah. So not to diss on, food courts at malls, but if people haven't been here, these food halls are completely different than that kind of atmosphere, correct?
That's right. And it started in the United States on the East and West Coast and is moved to the middle. At a food hall, especially our food hall, you're never going to see, and there's nothing wrong with them, but you're never going to see a chain restaurant. It is all local chefs from throughout the city.
How many visitors do you think you have to the food hall on an annual basis?
Yeah, so to the property in 2025, we saw 2.3 million visitors. That's up about 100,000 from the year before.
So when it comes to this USA Today 10 Best Readers' Choice Awards, how can listeners vote for you?
Yeah, great question. Thank you. So yes, you can search USA Today 10 Best Food Halls. You can go to City Foundry STL Instagram or Facebook or to our website, cityfoundrystl.com.
Who are you trying to beat this year?
We're on a very recognizable list. There's the 3rd Street Market in Milwaukee that does a great job. There is Krog Street Market that has a fantastic food hall as well. So we're in an elite list of food halls.
What do you think? Sure. What do you think sets the Foundry apart from those locations?
It's really the talent that we have under one roof, and the variety and the quality. You can come in with a group and everyone can get something completely different. It really is a global dining experience all under one roof and so much talent.
Matt, I just love the atmosphere there. Explain what the Foundry was before it was a food court.
Yeah, built in 1927. originally to make refrigeration parts. Some of the first parts of an electric refrigerator came out of the foundry. Later on, it was used to make brake parts. And then we converted it into a mixed-use property, and it's been a wild ride ever since.
So, Matt, again, how can listeners chime in and make sure that we get you to the top this year?
Yes, please. Search USA Today 10 Best Food Hall, City Foundry STL Instagram or Facebook, or cityfoundrystl.com.
Matt, thank you so much and good luck.
Great. Thank you, Megan.
That is Matt Sorth, Operations Manager for City Foundry, joining us this morning here on Total Information AM. It's 8:28, and this time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Attention all dog owners. If you have ever listened to the radio or TV for any length of time, you've probably heard of America's #1 dog supplement, Rough Greens. Greetings, naturopathy Dr. Dennis Black, Amazon best-selling author and founder of Rough Greens here. And if your dog suffers from bad breath, itchy skin, licking paws, joint pain, or low energy, the truth is their food is probably to blame. You see, all commercial dog food is dead food. That's why I created Rough Greens. One daily scoop gives your pup the live vitamins, omega oils, probiotics, and enzymes that will bring their food back to life. Don't believe me? Let your dog try it before you buy it. I'll send you a free Jumpstart trial bag, risk-free. You just cover the shipping. Go to roughgreens.com. That's ruffgreens.com. Use discount code NEWS. Don't wait. Give your dog the gift of vibrant health. Order now. It'll be at your house in a few days. Go to roughgreens.com. That's ruffgreens.com. Discount code NEWS for your free Jumpstart trial bag today. Rough Green. We make any dog food better.
There are many reasons to hire Morgan & Morgan for your injury case. Here's reason 17. In today's new world, many law firms have had money injected into their firms by Wall Street, private equity, and other lenders. This money usually comes in at very, very high interest rates. It's one of the reasons you see so many lawyers advertising. I'm John Morgan. This money is expensive and the interest compounds quickly. These law firms can have a huge need for cash just to pay that debt. Why does it matter to you? My fear is your case is settled early and for far less than it's worth, just to service the loan that has mafia-like rates. Our financial strength is your advantage. That plus our reputation makes our firm your firm. Visit forthepeople.com to see our results and verdicts. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
8:30, it's looking a lot better on the roads. Let's get an update from Roger Brand. He's in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Yeah, finally light at the end of the tunnel, especially for downtown drivers, Megan. This traffic report service of Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. In fact, we just have a little bit of a backup. We had that crash northbound 55 at 3200 Broadway. It's jammed back. Not quite back to 4500 Broadway, but south of Potomac, so there's a little bit of a jam up there. 44, though, you just have slow traffic Southwest Avenue to about Kings Highway, and then it opens up. If you're westbound on 70 from the Mutual Veterans out through the McKinley Bridge, it's kind of heavy. Eastbound 370, you have a roadwork backup. 141 most of the way into the Mills right now. Northbound 270, still pretty busy most of the way from approaching Gravois up to Ladue. Eastbound 64 still heavy east of Lindbergh to Big Bend. Westbound 64 approaching Hampton or the Science Center out to Hanley, still heavy. South 170 bogs down at Ladue. Westbound 64 slow across the Poplar and just west of 159 briefly as well. Midwest winters take a real toll on your garage door. Let my friends at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis come out and perform their 26-point tune-up on your garage door and opener. It's just one price for up to 3 garage doors and openers. Schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com. Next update at 8:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, more sun than clouds today, warmer this afternoon. We're expecting a high of 81 degrees. We'll hit an overnight low of 66, and then tomorrow mostly sunny, breezy, and hot. We could reach 94 degrees tomorrow. Right now we have sunshine, 46 degrees downtown at the Arch. Avian influenza is back as the USDA says what could be the largest outbreak in U.S. history continues to threaten flocks across the country, including in Missouri. Missouri Net's Marshall Griffin learned more from Dr. Chelsea Shively, a veterinarian working with the USDA.
Specifically, highly pathogenic avian influenza, or HPAI, which is a very severe form of this virus that is extremely contagious, and it often is very deadly to our domestic poultry. And we are in an outbreak that was first detected in February of 2022. And since then, we've had over 197 million birds. That includes chickens, turkeys, and geese that have become infected or died due to this virus. So that's nationwide across the United States. We do see this virus globally. Specifically in Missouri, it looks like there's not any positive detections right now, but we are worried about the spring migration of our, particularly the migratory waterfowl, and the risk that that might pose to both commercial and backyard poultry in the state of Missouri.
At this point, what type of precautionary measures do owners of poultry, whether they're backyard birds or whether they're commercial operations, what type of precautions need to be taken right now?
Yeah, the best way to protect against this virus is biosecurity. And some key basic biosecurity information to remember is cleanup. So making sure everything is clean, including equipment, clothing, footwear, as well as water and bedding for your poultry. Next is suit up. So using dedicated boots specifically for the poultry areas, and foot baths to help disinfect daily. Wearing gloves when you're in the poultry areas, or using hand sanitizer upon entry and exit. Divide up, so keeping your poultry separate from wild birds, and you can do this using enclosures or netting. And then finally, brush up. So knowing the signs of avian influenza and monitoring bird health closely. And if you do have sick birds, be sure to isolate them and report those signs to your veterinarian. And biosecurity works for both our commercial poultry operations as well as backyard owners.
If someone were to consume an infected bird, would there be any health risk of that person?
So this virus can infect humans as well as pets. So there is certainly some risk associated with just being around affected poultry or consuming their products. But again, that risk is generally considered low to humans, and really important. Biosecurity helps to prevent the spread of the virus from the birds back into humans as well. So continue to practice those biosecurity measures.
That's veterinarian Dr. Chelsea Shively.
Carpal tunnel syndrome, heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTR-CM.
There's still a lot ahead on Total Information AM. Missouri Supreme Court says redrawing the state's congressional districts isn't a problem under the Constitution. KMOX legal analyst Brad Young will tell us about some other challenges that could still stop that map. Plus, St. Louis colleges face some big cuts under a spending plan in the Missouri House. Missouri Net's Elisa Nelson will join me before the bottom of the hour. Now let's get a check of your money report. It's sponsored by Eamon Gantner and Capriano Elder Law Attorneys. Here's Bloomberg's Courtney Donahoe.
The Trump administration is waiting on a response from Iran on a plan to help bring the war to a close. The Middle East crisis is threatening to derail the artificial intelligence-driven stock rally of the past 3 years. The S&P 500 is down more than 4.5% so far in March, on track for its worst month in a year. This morning, futures are looking at a higher open. United Airlines is warning that ticket prices may have to go up by 20% if jet fuel prices remain elevated. The carrier expects some consumer pushback and fewer people to travel if ticket prices continue to rise. United has already reduced 5% of its capacity on routes that are not profitable. And folks are continuing to spend on their furry friends. Online pet retailer Chewy forecasting sales for the year that topped Wall Street expectations. The company expects demand to more than make up for headwinds, including inflation and tariff uncertainty. Shares of Chewy popping higher. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
Hey guys, Kevin Wheeler here for FanDuel Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of KMOX, mine of course as well. And we're into baseball season. Thank God, we've been counting down to this for months. And this baseball season, FanDuel is letting you choose your own reward for opening week. So these are betting customizations that transform how you experience the game. So you make your choice and the reward will be ready to use on your next MLB bet. I guess you could say FanDuel is the home of home runs this year. And look, we've all been looking forward to baseball season. I know we've been talking it down here on KMOX for months and months and months. It's finally time, and we get to play with FanDuel, which I find to be more fun than playing in football season, just so you know. So if you're ready to play your game, head to FanDuel.com/Missouri to choose your reward for MLB's opening week. FanDuel is an official partner of Major League Baseball. And of course, remember, you have to be 21 or older and present in Missouri. Opt-in is required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expiration, leg requirements, and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. And if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hi, St. Louis. This is Ben Barnett with Timberline Tree Care. I'm really excited to announce another reason why we should be taking care of your trees. Timberline is now the only tree care provider anywhere to offer full spectrum tree maintenance programs that are fully guaranteed. Here's how it works. You call Timberline and an ISA certified arborist will meet you at your home. We will develop a plan that includes soil testing and amendment, fertilization, any necessary pesticide applications, and annual inspections by an ISA certified arborist. But here's the best part. Maintenance pruning of your tree is included in this plan. And in the unlikely event that your tree dies while under our care, we will remove it for free. All you have to do is call us and sign up for the plan. We will take care of literally everything from there. There's no obligation, and you can cancel at any time. For tree care that is guaranteed, call Timberline Professional Tree Care at 636-479-7475 or find out more at stltreecare.com.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. So as you know, I'm a lawyer, haven't practiced in a long time, but I did plaintiff's work and defense work, so I have a pretty good understanding of it. I have a pretty good idea of who's who in the firmament of plaintiffs' attorneys. And for my money, Mark Cantor is the guy. He's a great attorney. He is a great practitioner. He's put together a great team. He was born and raised here. He lives here. He works here. He wins here. Call 314-628-ALL-9s or CantorInjuryLaw.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based on advertising. I'm Dave Glover, and I see clearly now thanks to the doctors, Dr. Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andy Royer. You can too. Just go to youridoc.com.
This is 104.1 FM KMOX. Here's what's happening. In a 4-3 ruling, the Missouri Supreme Court rules the state legislature acted within its power last year to draw new congressional voting boundaries. St. Louis County Executive Sam Page says he's reducing hours at some county offices and canceling the JB Blast this 4th of July to cover a budget deficit. And federal investigators say an airport surface detection system at New York's LaGuardia Airport failed to operate before a plane collided with a fire truck on the runway. Let's get another update on the roads with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we still got our trouble on northbound 55, Megan. This traffic reports a service of the St. Louis Work Zone Awareness 5K and 1 mile fun run. That would be the crash we have in the left lane northbound 55 at 3200 Broadway. Traffic's jammed back to about 4500 Broadway on northbound 55 right now. Eastbound 44, just a little slow. Hampton to Kings Highway keeps getting better. Eastbound 64, east of Lindbergh through Hanley, slow. South 170 bogs down at Ladue. Westbound 64, the Science Center through Hanley's busy. North 270 approaching Gravois all the way up to Ladue. That's busy the whole way through. 44 is also a little slow east of Bowles through toward Mraz on the run. Westbound 70, there's some slow traffic right through Jennings Station. Eastbound 370, 141 into the Mills, backed up due to road work. Downtown westbound 64 slow approaching Route 3 to the Poplar, and it's also slow past 159. I'm Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Help us raise awareness for safe driving as the construction season kicks off with the St. Louis Work Zone Awareness 5K and 1 mile fun run. Saturday, April 25th in Chesterfield. And please buckle up, phone down so we all get home safe. Brought to you by Missouri Coalition for Roadway Safety.
It's going to be downright hot the next couple of days. We're expecting a high of 81 degrees today with mostly sunny skies, a low of 66 tonight, and then we could see 94 degrees tomorrow. Right now, sunshine, 46 downtown at the Arch. You're listening to Total Information AM on KMOX. I'm Megan Lynch. The Missouri Supreme Court says the state legislature did nothing wrong when it drew new congressional boundaries mid-census to try to gain another Republican seat. Let's talk now to KMOX legal analyst Brad Young, partner at Harris Young and Kaiser. Good morning, Brad.
Good morning, Megan.
So there's a lot to unpack here with this ruling. First, how did Missouri's High Court interpret the state constitution when it comes to redistricting between census releases?
That's a great question, Megan. And of course, as you mentioned, the whole issue here is, can the Missouri legislature redraw the districts in the middle of the decade? I mean, traditionally, it's always been done after the census. So the Missouri legislature in 2025 decided to redraw the districts. There were challenges. And under the state constitution, it does specify that when there is a census, the legislature can redraw the district. The question is, are they limited to that? And what the Missouri Supreme Court held in a very slim 4-3 decision was that when the Constitution says that the legislature can or must do it after the redrawing, or rather after the census, they're not limited to that, because there's no limitation, according to the court, under the Missouri Constitution that would prevent the legislature from redrawing the districts as long as it's done sometime after a census. And that allows, at least for now, that allows the redrawn districts to move forward with the 2026 election coming up.
Well, you alluded to it. This might not be the end of it. There's another lawsuit that looks at the makeup of the districts themselves, whether they're compact or not.
Right. Under the Missouri Constitution, there is a requirement under Section 45 that the districts be, quote, as compact as may be, unquote. So the court, the Missouri Supreme Court here, did not decide that issue. They only decided the question of whether or not the legislature can redraw the districts in the middle of the decade. So now that that issue has been resolved, now these other challenges to whether or not these are compact districts, that moves forward. We've all heard the term gerrymandering. That comes from the 1800s, where districts looked like a salamander because they were so stretched out. This Section 45 is designed to prevent that from happening. We'll see what the court holds in terms of this challenge.
I may actually live in a district like that in Illinois, but turning back to Missouri, there are also efforts to put this issue of the map to voters. How could that affect the map taking effect? Who would make the final call?
You're right. There's a referendum that has been put forward, a citizen-led referendum to change the districts back to the way they were. That referendum should be on the ballot this November. There's still some legal challenges on that, about whether the language is neutral, whether the certification has been timely. Once those get resolved, this could be on the ballot in 2026 for voters to decide which districts should or should not exist.
I guess we'll be talking about this again.
Oh, yeah.
Let's turn to an issue in the city of St. Louis. In the region, a lot of people may have seen some of the old brick houses, for example, in North St. Louis. I think there's some in the south. They've been painted basically dark red or burgundy. Some of them are black with a red door. Apparently, they're owned by a Kentucky rehabber. He's in pretty big trouble with investors right now, it looks like, besides some other legal trouble that he has. What's the allegation here of what he's done in flipping some of these houses?
There's two main allegations. And of course, this is a big issue after the recent tornado and homes in North St. Louis needing to be rehabbed. But the question becomes this investor from Kentucky has done two things. Number one, they've promised returns for the investors. They say, if you will invest in this, I will promise you a 10% return on your investment. And the allegation is it's a Ponzi scheme, right? Because at first the payouts were coming and then the payouts stopped coming, which is a classic Ponzi scheme situation. The other issue here is whether this is actually a security. For example, if you go out and buy a stock that promises a return, that's covered under federal law, under the Securities and Exchange Commission. So the bottom line for this, Megan, is that there are some legal issues with some of the properties that are being rehabbed in North City about whether or not there is a giant Ponzi scheme going on. And a lawsuit was just filed. So this case will have to work its way through the courts.
What's interesting to me, though, okay, this is a civil case at this point, but when someone says Ponzi scheme, I think, why isn't that before federal prosecutors at this point?
Right. And you'll notice, remember with the Alfred Montgomery situation, where first there was a state action and then there was a federal action. I think in this situation, Megan, I think the feds are looking at what information is developed in the state civil case for then possible prosecution down the road, depending on the evidence that's generated in the state civil case. This is, I think, just beginning, and this could be an explosively large legal situation that's brewing right now in North St. Louis.
Gotcha. Thank you so much, Brad. Always appreciate your visits.
My pleasure.
That is KMOX legal analyst Brad Young, partner at Harris Young and Kaiser. He joins us every Wednesday morning at 8:40 here on Total Information AM.
Now the news at 1, the fun. It's the Dave Glover Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Tom Ackerman here for McKelvey Homes. They're online at McKelveyHomes.com. Move up to McKelvey, McKelveyHomes.com. Visit McKelvey Homes for all of the best home sites in the St. Louis area. Jim Brennan, the president of McKelvey Homes, and his outstanding staff identify the greatest places to live, like Summerlin in O'Fallon, Missouri, like the Reserve at Wildwood, like Cottleville Trails, like the Preserve in Afton. There's so many great ones. And if you go online, you can see all of the homes that have popped up around those areas. It might be ready to make the change, and McKelvey Homes can do that for you. A change in lifestyle, walking trails throughout the properties, not to mention they will save you money. They were founded in 1898, so they're celebrating this month, the month of March, with their 1898 sale. You can see what that means, starting with $18,980 off of their homes. McKelvey Homes. Move up to McKelvey, McKelveyHomes.com.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at Zero Res. You know, they do such a great job. Beat the spring cleaning rush and call our cleaning heroes now. This month, buy one, get one room of carpet clean for free. Unlimited rooms of carpet. Visit ZeroResSTL.com and let them know that Dave sent you.
St. Louis's unofficial holiday is almost here. It's Cardinals opening day, Thursday, March 26th. And KMOX's Cakes and Eggs, presented by Budweiser, is back. This year with a new twist. You don't need a ticket to enjoy KMOX's live broadcast at Cardinals Nation inside Ballpark Village, featuring Cardinals alumni, front office personnel, special guests, and so much more. First come, first served. Doors open at 9 a.m. Celebrate opening day with dirt cheap Budweiser and Rally House. More info at KMOX.com/events.
Thanks for joining me this morning for Total Information AM here on KMOX. I'm Megan Lynch. The Missouri House has given first-round approval to a state budget that draws from surplus funds and shakes up how the state would fund higher education. Elisa Nelson, news director of Missouri Net, was watching a lot of the debate yesterday, especially how it concerns education, and she joins me now. Good morning, Elisa.
Good morning, Megan.
Just to kind of set the stage for this, what is the revenue picture for the state of Missouri right now?
Well, this is the first budget proposal over the last at least couple of years where things are tighter. The bank account doesn't have as much money in it, so lawmakers are really having to crunch, I think, some of the numbers more so now in what's expected to be a much tighter budget year. So I think there's going to be quite the fight between Republicans and Democrats on what the budget priorities are.
And obviously, Democrats tried to launch some fights yesterday, you know, in discussion in the House on some of these issues. When it comes to what you're seeing in some of the numbers, some of those line items, what are we looking at for education at this point?
Well, as far as K-12 education goes, the House proposal puts the state aid to schools at about $4.2 billion, which is the same as this year, the current year, and then $361 million for school bus transportation, which is down from $375 million last year. So there are those are the two big ones to watch out for, but there are all sorts of different education programs that might have a little bit more, might have a little bit less, depending on the program. And then higher education is going to be quite different this year because what the House has done is they're using this sort of other formula to decide how much each college and university gets. Some will get more, some will get less. And so that will be different from what usually is given is just a percentage across the board. So I suspect that we'll have some colleges and universities that will be happy and some that won't be.
Yeah, there's some grave concerns among St. Louis educators here. For example, last week we had the chancellor of St. Louis Community College on the air. They stand to lose a big chunk of their funding, about 20% under this plan, and they have basically less than a year to figure out how they're going to handle that. And then Harris Stowe, a historically Black university, would see their funding cut by almost 40%. Yeah, I'm wondering how much this was debated yesterday.
That's a good question. Overall, the budget debate lasted about 5 hours, maybe close to 6 hours. And they usually put a time limit on that. So as far as this particular school funding goes, the core funding formula for higher ed, I'm not sure how long it went, but there was definitely discussion on this, and there has been even in the House Budget Committee. Prior to coming up for debate, there was plenty of debate during committee hearings on this.
It seems like the Republican chair of the Budget Committee has had quite a bit of say over what gets pushed through. That was one of his proposals. Representative Dirk, is it Deaton or Dayton of Seneca?
Deaton. Yep.
Deaton. Yeah,
Deaton.
It seems like he's had quite a bit of say on this. What kind of pushback has he gotten?
Well, I think it's pretty typical, at least what kind of pushback he's gotten from Democrats on what things they want to compromise on. And they were successful a few times yesterday. He was able to bend here and there. More so it was on like technical stuff, and just kind of shifting money from one program to another. But they're trying to follow the governor's budget proposal as much as possible, and then kind of adding a little bit more flavor of his own. And so we're far from over from the state budget proposal and what the final look will be. But he's a very powerful guy, being the House Budget Committee chairman. He's got a lot of say.
One other thing that I know you noted was the child care subsidy provider payments. If I remember correctly, the governor had a figure, and it looks like there has been quite a bit pulled from what Governor Kehoe wanted for that.
Yes, that is something that I just actually found out about yesterday and did not know this until the ranking Democrat on the House Budget Committee, that's Representative Betsy Fogel of Springfield. She had addressed this during debate yesterday. So the Budget Committee chairman, again, Dirk Deaton, he wants to cut $52 million in the child care subsidy provider rate enhancements. So they might have gotten full rates, 100% rates for providers on infants and toddlers. That may go down a little bit. So there are all these different dollar figures as far as some of those enhancements go. So that's a pretty big difference in chunk. And I know that Representative Fogel has concerns about how that's going to impact.
Well, Elisa, thank you so much. And
Sorry
I know
about that.
you're fine. You're fine. I know you're going to be watching this for us. And kind of what's the next step in this? Approval by the full House?
Yes. So I anticipate the House will either give it passage today or tomorrow, probably likely tomorrow. And then what's going to happen is it'll go over in the Senate. The Senate will make changes, and then both House and Senate budget folks, a group of folks, will come together and compromise and move it through the process.
All right. Well, I'm sure we'll be tapping you again for some updates on that. Thanks so much for your time this morning.
All right, you bet. Thank you.
That is Elisa Nelson, news director of Missouri Net, joining us this morning here on KMOX. Chris and Amy are next.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Health Trends, sponsored by Wesley Financial.
Cataract surgery not only improves vision, but might also reduce the risk of bone fractures. A meta-analysis published in Ophthalmology found